The cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality.
Hello, welcome to a Monday edition of the Voicemail Ocala. Buddy Martin with you once again, as we are every weekday from 3 to 6. Glad to be back with you on this beautiful day. What a great weekend for sports. If you couldn't get excited about sports and basketball this week, you just couldn't get excited, because it was indeed a glorious weekend for basketball for a lot of folks, including right here in Marion County. As a matter of fact, as we speak, I understand plans are underway somewhere at City Hall to have a meet and greet with the national champions from Central Florida Community College, or College of Central Florida, who will be rolling in today sometime around 8 o'clock, back from Hutchinson, Kansas, after a huge win over Northwest Florida State for the national championship. And the dream has come true for Tim Ryan and his team. We'll talk more about that as we go along today. It's going to be so much to talk about in basketball. It's going to dwarf most of the news because there's not a whole lot of news, but we'll keep you informed about what we know. We'll talk to the mayor at 3:15. He's supposed to check on what he knows. He said he didn't know the details, but last I heard, and talking to President Jim Henningsen, who will join us on the show today at 3:30, there was some sort of plan to have a patrol car from the county, from the sheriff's office, or the city, the police department of Ocala, meet the CF bus as it rolled in. And I think from there, I'm not sure, but it goes to CF, and Keith Chartrand, reporter with us, is scheduled to be somewhere around the neighborhood and let us know. So that's a huge story for us. And first of all, I'll say hello and welcome back, Tom and JJ. Hope your weekend was good.
My weekend almost ended in death, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think it may be a little exaggeration, but you certainly were in harm's way in the tournament as the bad weather. We'll get you to tell you about us later on. But then on the other hand, it was death for a lot of folks down at Bay Hill today. Tiger stuck a dagger in him. Tiger Woods rolls on, wins the delayed, extended version of the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill, and last I looked, he was up by 2 strokes, and he was taking it to him. So
he won.
Ricky Fowler, yeah, he was two shot lead at 17. I figured he did. Ricky Fowler just played a little tin cup today. Couldn't get the ball to go on the green, and we'll talk about that in sports. But this basketball thing, it hits us locally, statewide, and what a story is Florida Gulf Coast. What a tremendous story FGCU turned out to be. I know the Saturday Sports page, Tom and JJ had Tom James on. Tom, of course, a broadcaster who does some of the games for the Eagles. He did their internet broadcast. He also does local television featured stories. And it's just a fluke he wasn't at the national championship, or at the March Madness game. And, you know, it has captured, today when I looked at it online, I looked at it under Twitter, it was the number one topic for a while. Florida Gulf Coast University was the number one topic. Everybody is excited about this team. They have definitely become the Cinderella, and some people are saying the Cinderella story of all time. We may have to discuss that because they're forgetting about one team that goes back a ways I can tell you about. But certainly a great story, and the kids are fun. They're fun to watch. They play a brand of basketball that's infectious. Everybody seems to be rooting for them. Now the Gators have to face them. And I guess the only consolation would be if the Gators lose Friday night, and I got all the tip-off times for you a little later on, is that the story of the Cinderella team from Fort Myers or Estero will continue on as Andy Enfield has become a very, very pop culture guy, he and his wife. If you've seen her on TV several times. And, guys, I know you couldn't help but get caught up in it. It was a terrific weekend for all the Florida basketball teams. All 3 advanced to the Sweet 16, Miami, Florida, Florida Gulf Coast, but you had to be pulling for the Florida Gulf Coast.
I was pulling for Miami so that my bracket didn't continue to be destroyed.
Well,
I'm gonna be
brackets,
honest with you.
here's what I got to say about brackets. Remember that Jim Moore clip on playoffs?
Playoffs?
Brackets. No time for those stinking brackets.
Yeah, I was not paying attention to those.
No.
Because it doesn't let me enjoy Florida Gulf Coast dunking all over everybody.
Dunk City,
They're
brother.
awesome, man.
Dunk City. I've got at least 4 or 5 good reasons why you should love them, which I'll tell you about a little bit later on. But there is other news today. But basically, this is what everybody's talking about. I mean, when they make it the lead story on Today that they did this morning,
Wow.
it was a lead story on the Today program. It's quite a story. So, and I was thinking about the fact that why is this? Basketball's a beautiful game to watch. You think about it, steroids don't come into play. They just don't. Because strength, although while important at some point, is not a factor. It's more ballet, grace, timing, teamwork, etc. And it's a great sport to watch. And when you watch Florida Gulf Coast play, they play it at the highest level. I mean the highest level because it's like ballet through the air. It's like Peter Pan flying. I mean, that's a great name, Dunk City, for them. And I think this team has captured the imagination of the sports people everywhere, of non-sports and sports people everywhere. And they've got a huge fan base. And, JJ, if you put your application in now for Florida Gulf Coast, you'd probably be one of about 1,000.
To go this summer, it's actually ends this week. So I could get in.
You better get in there right now. They said the server crashed on them,
Tom James was acting like he can't help me out a little bit. Like he doesn't have any type of pull there.
Well, I don't know.
I don't believe that.
I don't know if he has on the academic side, but he certainly has on
How
the
many
other.
play-by-play guys do they really have?
Well,
and communication.
Well, I think you need to be nicer to him. Maybe he'd think about it.
Whoa, that's my boy, buddy.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Now
Very
you're working.
nice to him.
I ain't working. So, anyway, I think it's just a wonderful story. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes, a little bit more, and a few other headlines and news. Catch up to the latest. Hope your weekend was good. That your Easter plans are all set. I'll be taking off Thursday and Friday to join my family down around in Palm Beach, and I won't be here, but Tom and JJ and the gang and Laurie will be here to carry you forward Thursday and Friday and keep up with all the latest information of what's going on. Again, CF rolling back from Hutchinson, Kansas on a bus. I texted back and forth with Coach Tim Ryan. He's scheduled to be on at 5:15 on the bus still. We'll get the latest information from we got to look up that all-tournament team. I know Eugene McCrory was on it. He was awesome. And see who else was on that team. And if they pick a top coach, it ought to be for Ryan, in my opinion. What a great effort by them.
I got real quick before we go to break. I got something that you and JJ are very interested in. A Paddock Mall update. The WOCA studios at the Paddock Mall.
Do we have like a bulletin sound? Something like that.
Sheetrock is on the wall. They'll be finishing the sheetrock this week. So.
What does that mean?
Getting ever closer. Well,
JJ,
now there's actual.
JJ and I don't know
That
what
means
sheetrock
nothing
means.
to
We
me.
don't.
That means there's actual walls now. It's not just studs.
Walls are going up.
They put the
okay.
sheetrock on the walls.
Okay.
They've enclosed in rooms. You can actually go in and see the studio. And
Do
see
they have my
offices.
office back there with a hot tub and all the stuff?
They do.
And the wet bar and stuff.
The
in
wet
it?
bar.
Yeah.
The problem is the ice cubes.
Oh, man,
I know.
Gonna be taken care of.
But we got sheetrock up on the walls. They're going to be finishing the sheetrock this week. So
There you go.
that's another
All right.
step closer.
Might even talk about other things the world besides basketball, though. Right now, there doesn't seem to be much more than that. When we come back,
When we come back, I have a story from Newtown, Connecticut. That's even made me mad. Even made me Second Amendment gun right activist guy get mad.
All right. Well, Tom's mad again. What's new? We'll take
At
a
the
break.
NRA, by the way.
Come back after this time out on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com, the source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday. Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Are you looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Warren Fay, lead writer for Rockstar Games' Red Dead Revolver. He's written a book called Pandemonium. It is a thriller novel.
Clay Gibbons is the Community Development Coordinator for Life South Community Blood Centers. He'll be on the air telling us how we can help our fellow humans.
And then on Open for Debate, we engage in intelligent disagreement so that we might learn something from one another.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then Heather Graham will be with us. She's a featured author for the Doubleday Book Club and the Literary Guild, and she's written a book called Let the Dead Sleep.
If you need disaster restoration on your home or business, listen to Damage Control with Joe Reichel and Rob Sobieski.
And then Wendy Fairchild is coming on. She's a diabetes care specialist. She lost 2 brothers to the complications of diabetes, and she's coming on to talk to us about how we can help those we love live with diabetes. All of that, plus Fun with Joe, on the next AM Ocala Live, right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Call me crazy. Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15, or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Regency Printing, on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
Hi, this is John Sotomayor, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine, here to tell you that Ocala Magazine now has its very own radio show, and it's right here on WOCA The Source. We bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life. We'll be covering the latest stories that impact your world right here in Ocala. Ocala Magazine Radio.
Be sure to tune in to John Sotomayor and his guests for Ocala Magazine Radio every Friday at 10 a.m. right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
This is Tom Schmitz live at the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by Gateway Bank. A voluntary burn ban remains in effect in Marion County after this weekend's thunderstorms did little help with drought conditions. The decision came Monday at Monday morning's meeting of the Marion County Multi-Agency Wildland Task Force. The group believes that brisk winds on Monday and Tuesday, along with low humidity, will dry damp vegetation quickly and push the wildfire danger back up immediately. The task force is asking residents to postpone outdoor burning until conditions improve. This news break was brought to you by Gateway Bank, your new old-fashioned bank. Join Buddy every Friday for Community Gazette Day.
at Gateway Bank.
Like nothing's gonna come my way, so I'm just gonna sit on a dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting.
Now, welcome back to the program. Could be a busy time this week for folks in Ocala. I think this is a bit of Ocala pride here. It is pride for Marion County and all the counties where CF goes, of course, Levy and Citrus, Sumter counties, but especially here in Ocala where the heart of the campus is. And I think we should reach out and celebrate the occasion for a national championship in junior college basketball. I know this guy agrees with me, and I'm sure he's among those working diligently down at City Hall to see what can be arranged this week for the CF Patriots, and that would be the mayor, Kent Gwynn, who joins us now by phone. Hello, Mayor. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Well, it was a terrific weekend, huh?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, it was. I didn't realize that they had won the championship. Jim Henningsen called me yesterday and let me know that, and they were on their way back. I think I just got off the phone with him. They're in about Atlanta. They've been delayed because of some snow and things, but they're supposed to be back on the campus about 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, that's good. I've had a chance to text back and forth with Tim Ryan, the coach. We're going to have him on while he's still on the bus about 5:15 today.
Okay.
And, you know, I've been tweeting about this. I probably sent out more tweets this weekend than I have in my life.
Wow.
But so many things going on between Florida Gulf Coast, that great story about them. And then, of
Right.
course, CF winning the National JUCO Championship. Was able to watch it online Saturday night. What a game! What a tournament in the game Eugene McCrory had. He was terrific, and it was just an awesome thing to have your town team, as they say, win the national championship. It's something that hopefully will be embraced and celebrated here in Ocala.
Well, I hope so. I mean, this is a really big deal. Actually, I am actually at City Hall diligently working, trying to figure out some things we can do to honor them. I just got off the left a voicemail message for a gentleman at the governor's office to see if the governor, could either call him or write him a real nice letter. And also, there was a gentleman that called me when, when the campaign was going on for the vice president. Was here representing the vice president's office, so I got off the phone with him, and I want to see if I want to send him an email and see if they can do something for the team, either write him a letter or, do something. So anyway, I'm trying to work on that.
Well, good. I mean, there's talk about possibly having a police escort for them when they arrive back as national champions. That would be good. The sheriff and or the chief of police, either one, be one way to do it. And hopefully some kind of parade can be put together for this team later in the week. As I say, you don't get a national champion very often. This is something I think that everybody needs to reach out and celebrate.
Yeah, we're working on trying to do an event towards the end of the week with the folks at the city. They're working on that now, and we'll recognize them when they get back. But yeah, we want to do something real nice for them and bring them down the Citizen Circle and invite this community to come out and gather and enjoy it.
Yeah, I was just tweeting over the weekend, and I know it's probably old hat by now. I tweeted Mike Bianchi this morning about 6 o'clock and pointed out that all three teams from Florida, the Gators, the Hurricanes, and now the Eagles, are in the Sweet 16, and that you've got a national junior college champion here, which beat another Florida team for the title. And it was pointed out to me by somebody else that Florida Southern is in the Division II finals of their deal too. So and don't forget the Miami Heat have won 26 straight. So right now, Florida's pretty much the capital of basketball.
It seems like Ocala, Marion County is the capital of about everything in this state. Everything that these kids have won, from one sport to another, to journalism, and you name it.
Right, the first place award by the kids from Vanguard out of L.A.
Right.
A couple weeks ago, the Francis Marion victory in national championship orienteering. So it's going good. We're on a streak right here, right now.
Yeah. No, these kids really amaze me. They're something else. So we seem to be doing a good job with them.
Very good. Any other news on the city today we need to know about? Anything going on down there?
Now, Chief just walked in. I think he's trying to arrange a ride for Dr. Henningsen to join the team when they come in. So I need to get with him.
Well, we'll have the president on CF on here in about 10 minutes. So stay tuned.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken. Good work on that. All right.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.
Everybody seems to be on board with being happy about what's going on in the
Well, they should be.
in the brick city.
They should be. You know, look what we're coming out of for the last 5 years. You know, I mean, we've been the whole country, but particularly our area, or the high unemployment we had, led the state at one point in time. You know, it's said that back in the day, when there were race riots in towns like Detroit, places like that, and when times were bad, that sports saved the city. And now we're pulling ourselves out of this nosedive, and we're on our way back. And to have these kinds of things happen that we all be proud of is very uplifting, and something that we need, and we need to feel good about ourselves. I mean, I would like to see somebody go out and put a sign up that says, Ocala, Florida, home of the National Junior College Basketball Champions.
Well, doesn't the DOT do something like that?
No, they do it. I think you got to do it yourself, but I mean, that needs to be a couple of billboards right there.
No, but I mean, because the DOT, when you drive into Gainesville, right as you get into Gainesville on the interstate, it says Gainesville, Florida, home of National Championship Football Florida Gators, and it has the years, and it says National Championship Basketball Florida Gators, and it has the years.
I don't think that's DOT. I could be wrong.
It's on the DOT sign. It's
well,
green.
It's
green like that.
The city's still got to get it done, though.
Right.
I mean, the county and the city got to get it done.
Somebody may pay the DOT to do it.
Could be. But, I mean, we need to have that up and be proud of it and those kind of things. Also, the home, by the way, of the last horse to win the Triple Crown.
That should be on a bill. That should be somewhere.
Yeah. So I think we need to
with
lead
Melvin James as the trainer.
Yeah, well, he was one of them. He was one of them to got him started.
Right, he helped break him.
He didn't train him later on, but he helped break him. Yeah, Melvin James had a role in that for sure. So I mean, that's those are the kind of things we need to embrace and lift up and be proud of. You know,
home of Joni Martin, the most understanding woman in the world,
and probably the best person we got going right now on the brackets. So
she's whipping all of
kicking us right now.
You know,
yeah, she and Sue Griner were rubbing it in on me last night. I'm like in last place, but that's okay.
Well, you're in last place now,
pretty much,
because you know who was in last place this weekend.
We're both down there somewhere.
No. Kim Jong-un. Who is that, JJ? Who was that?
He's
first
the
place?
leader of North Korea.
Yeah, but who?
First place. In first place.
Is he in first place now?
I think.
He was in dead last Saturday.
I'm in first. No, I don't know where I'm at.
He was in dead last Saturday.
Don't even look at it.
I haven't even looked at it because I don't like it.
I just know that I took a tumble and I got my VCU team got beat. I do have so
far.
We're
going to right now. Look,
I've got.
All right, I got it right now.
Well, we'll get that after the break. We got Coach. We got Mr. Henningsen coming up here in a minute. So we'll take a break, take a peek at the bracket, see how bad I'm doing, which is, I'm sure, significant. And we'll talk more about the CF Patriots and what's happening out there on the campus and what the folks at CF are planning for you today as the Patriots team rolls in by bus from Hutchinson, Kansas, are leaving as a mere mortal, coming back as champions. We'll come back and talk about it right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell. lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
What's up with you this weekend?
Just doing my taxes.
Doing your taxes? Go to Liberty Tax. Do you want your money fast, or do you want to wait?
Fast, I guess.
That's right. And where do you get America's fastest refunds?
Liberty Tax Service.
Let Liberty Tax show you the freedom.
Find us at libertytax.com or call 866-871-1040 today to find a location near you. That's 866-871-1040.
And remember, March 25th through the 30th, teachers get their taxes done free.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Right now, somewhere in the world, there is a bear waking up from a long winter's hibernation. Scientists are not 100% sure how a bear knows winter is over, but I think I may have an explanation. Here it is. Spring comes to Florida first, so Florida gardeners get that spring fever first and head over to Kenny's Place Nursery. They go to Kenny's Place for gazanias, impatiens, geraniums, and begonias, all for 99 cents each. They also head to Kenny's Place Nursery for pansies, selling for $4 for $1. Now, that is a honey of a deal. Well, the thought of the honey reminds those gardeners of the special role pollinators, like bees, have in the garden. Now, every bear knows that where there are bees, there is honey. So, their noses wiggle, their ears twitch, and boom, the bear wakes up. And all because of a great sale at Kenny's Place Nursery. Who knew? Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a honey of a deal at Kenny's Place.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios of this news break, brought to you by Kinetic Motion Fitness. The College of Central Florida's newly crowned national championship basketball team is expected to arrive back in Ocala around 8 p.m. Monday. The Patriots, who defeated Northwest Florida State to win their first ever national title, will arrive by bus at the campus gymnasium. Stay here at WOCA with updates of the team's estimated arrival time, should it change. This news update was brought to you by Kinetic Motion Fitness, where the focus is on fun. Find them at kmfocala.com.
All right, welcome back. Coming up in just a moment, President Jim Henningsen will join us. We'll talk about this catching you up around what's going on around here today. We'll be talking to President Henningsen in a moment. And then at 5:15, we have the coach, Tim Ryan, who's on the bus with the team. They're heading back from Hutchinson, Kansas. And I understand they're probably going to get a police escort at the county line or someplace. And it sounds like Dr. Henningsen, according to the mayor, will be joining them. And coming in around 7:30, between 7:30 and 8. Time not exactly set yet. It'd be nice if there was a crowd that showed up to greet them there. That'd be good. And then the Cinderella story of the tournament. Basically, Cinderella just didn't survive, but stole the spotlight at the dance. I mean, everybody's talking about Florida Gulf Coast University. It was definitely a story that has taken over. Is definitely a story that's taken over the entire tournament, Tom. Some people are calling it the all-time greatest Cinderella story in Florida Gulf Coast. I'm not quite ready to go there, and I'll tell you why a little later on. But there have been other teams that have had great stories. This team is writing its own version of it. So far, the amount of joy this team brings to watch them play and to watch them have so much fun, it's incredible.
Well, as far as when you're saying Cinderella, they have to be in the discussion of the greatest Cinderella team ever, and simply because they're the first 15 seed ever to make the Sweet 16.
Correct. That suddenly qualifies them. Now
there's only 7 15 seeds to be the number 2.
I'm aware of that, but there are been a few other teams that have come from further back, not in the same season. But there's one team that sort of had never won a game either, then got to the finals. Had never won a game.
George Mason?
No. I'll tell you about that later.
Well, I think the greatest.
I'll tell you the story I know about. Okay?
I think the greatest Cinderella team is 1983. That's just me.
Why don't we just save that discussion for the sports hour when we have a chance to talk about it, and then I'll tell you the team that I think is right up there. It remains to be seen. Florida Gulf Coast might be the best Cinderella team. Certainly, they're the most fun, probably of any basketball team that you'd.
And if you're a Gator fan, are you not? If you're a Gator fan, are you not worried right now about the upcoming game?
Mm-hmm.
Got to be.
Of course you are. Of course you're worried about it. It's because I don't think the matchup's that good. And it's something that it's gonna make for good conversation. I'll tell you that.
Well, I have a very good story that's not sports related. I know some people out there are listening for things. AAA, Jessica Brady, a AAA spokesperson for the Auto Club Group, said we can all expect gas prices to continue to fall all the way through Easter. They expect gas to fall another 5 to 7 cents. JJ, you could afford another 5 to 7 cents off a gallon of gas, couldn't you?
I could afford anything.
I mean,
I can't afford anything right now.
Right, 5 to 7. You know, the bad thing about gas prices is that I remember, and not too long ago, 6, 7 years ago, when gas was $1.78 a gallon, and we were talking about when it went to $3 a gallon, that one day we'll be happy that it stays around $3 a gallon, and we've arrived at those days. Because now it gets so close to $4. It's like they take it up to $4 to remind us, see, you got it good when it's $3.25. When I want it back to $1.75, or back to 99 cents, or back when Buddy was a teenager, what was it, Buddy? 3 cents, I think, was a gallon of gas.
Right. I'll put it like this: I could put $5 in my car and drive all weekend. So around here, not long trips. So it was pretty cheap. It was like 35, 40 cents a gallon. Something like that.
Well, it's dropped. It's dropped 12 cents since last month. It's down 2 pennies since last week. The national average in Florida is 3.67, which is a penny more expensive than it is the national average. So,
well, how I go by is when it gets up nearly $60 a tank. That's when I start getting a little bit angry.
You know what angers me, though, about this gas thing, and it happened this weekend. We pull up, Craig Turner, Hunter's dad. Hunter went to the golf tournament with me on yesterday, and Craig goes with Hunter.
Made it out alive, thank goodness.
Craig goes with Hunter to help Hunter out and everything, We pull into the gas station, and Craig said, gas has went up to $3.75 a gallon. Why did it jump so fast? And then he realized it wasn't $3.75 a gallon. For anybody that pays cash, it's just $3.75 a gallon for you if you're using a credit card.
Right.
8 cents more a gallon than a person that uses cash.
Well, the thing is that what's good, I give BP a little credit for doing one thing. Finally, it used to be when you use your debit card,
they charge you the credit price too.
Correct. But now they have changed that. Debit's the same as cash.
Well, BP's the only person because a lot of places,
I know.
And it's just. That's just an added way for them to make money. It gets me.
Speaking of gas, I know that the CF bus is burning a bunch of gas on its way home today and should be arriving tonight around 7:30, 8 o'clock on the campus. I don't know many more details, but somebody who might is the president of the National Junior College Basketball Championship team, the College of Central Florida Patriots. And how does that sound, Dr. Jim Henderson?
Well, it sounds great, buddy. We are so excited for our team. They had a great season, and they are on the highway now, even as we speak. And we'll be giving them a police escort once they get down to the county line, and they should be arriving here on campus at about 7:30 near the gym, in the gym parking lot.
Well, I know that it's been exciting news for everybody in the county, especially out there on the campus. And what's the buzz out there? I mean, is the student body getting all stoked up about this, and are folks talking about it?
There's a big buzz. My phone battery's about dead. We've been talking to so many different people. But, yeah, we've got our student life folks. They've been contacting our students to let them know we're going to try and have an event. We weren't sure what time they were coming in tonight, and we were hoping they're going to come in a little earlier in the afternoon, but they've been stuck in some snow this morning trying to get out of the Midwest, and they got some delays getting on the highway. So I think they're happy to be back in the sunshine, and they are looking forward to being home. But we got a lot of buzz here. We got a billboard up already this morning, and we put it up on 200.
Cool.
To recognize them and say thank you. And it's a nice thing about digital billboards. They can go up in a minute.
Really? What does the billboard say?
Well, I think it said, congratulations, national champions, and I had a picture of our men's basketball team up there.
Nice. We need to have a sign. Someone, we were talking about a while ago, whether it's the DOT or whether it's the county, that says Ocala, Florida, home of the national junior college basketball champion, CF Patriots. You know,
I think you're exactly right. You do see those on the highway. We see about getting one of those. Good idea.
Yeah, need to get that going. And so I know that you'll have a lot to say later about it, but certainly Coach Ryan and his team really represented very well. And Tim Ryan is a guy that I love. What I love about him is he loves this campus. He loves this school. He loves this town. He told me he thought it was the greatest junior college basketball venue in America. And then, as you know, his dream was to have the state tournament here in Ocala one day and then have a chance to win the state on his home court. But it's like that line from what's the movie was from? Got to get a bigger boat. Jaws. Got to get a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
You need a bigger dream. He turned out he got a bigger dream. And to go up there at Hutchinson and win that thing, that was really a rare moment and something that everybody's proud of.
Well, it's huge. I think it's been 58 years since two teams from the same state competed in the final for the NJCAA championship. And to play Northwest Florida State, these two teams have been neck and neck all season long as some of the best teams in the country, and they proved it. They played in the final, and they played a tough game, and we just had too much for them. And this team really pulled through together, and they've got some big men inside, and Eugene McCrory and Jeremiah Eason, and the supporting cast around them. It made for entertaining basketball, and I give Coach Ryan a lot of credit. He and the coaching staff have done a fantastic job building that team support. I mean, usually you have 5 or 6 players averaging double points scoring in each game that we're winning, and that's a credit to the coach and the staff, how he pulls them together. Sometimes they'll have a bad first half, and you get one of those pep talks during halftime, the kind I remember too, when you're not playing so well, and they come out and give it a great effort in the second half. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I have not seen the all-tournament team, but I'm sure that there'll be several members of the Patriot squad on there. You mentioned McCrory. Suarez had a great tournament, and we'll see how that comes out. So we know now. This is Dr. Jim Henningsen, the president of CF. 2 quick questions. What do you have? You're planning for the team. Is there going to be some kind of parade later on? The city's planning something, I know. Do you have any details on that?
Well, I've been in discussion with the mayor today and yesterday. We're trying to figure out the date that will work best so that we can do a special party for them. I mean, they need as many parties as possible at this stage in recognition of what they've accomplished. So we'll probably do an event at Citizen Circle downtown Ocala with the mayor. We may do a parade. We'll just have to figure out. They're working on the planning of that right now. Our folks, our marketing department, and their communication staff are trying to put something together. So I don't have the details yet, but as soon as we have that, we'll get that out to everybody.
Great. And, of course, being spring break, you want to make sure the kids are here, too. When is your spring break?
We just had our spring break last week.
Okay.
And I know the school districts are out this week. And we also are competing with the NCAA national tournament in the Final Four coming up soon. And I know our coach is usually at the Final Four games watching those. So we'll have to see what dates work best. But we're going to have a big celebration, and we're going to keep keep celebrating this one because it's not easy to bring home the national trophy, and they did.
It's not going to go away either, by the way. It'll be here for a while, so if you have to do it 3 weeks from now, it's still good. One quick note about the story I read over the weekend, and I know you were quoted and you're aware of it. I was not aware of the tremendous amount of money that the so-called community colleges bring to Florida. And the numbers were staggering when I read that story about the amount of money that how many colleges are there in Florida? Community colleges?
We have 28 colleges and over 900,000 students in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And our economic impact statewide was over $20 billion.
Wow.
I think it was over $25 billion. And our economic impact, we did a study just like that with CF about 6 months ago, and our economic impact was $350 million just in this area. And that was huge. I mean,
huge.
They definitely, the colleges play a vital role, not only in the educational arena, but also in the economic development arena.
And for every dollar you spend, $6 comes back to you, so that's always good too. And I know that money multiplies. It's great. And final thing, we're going to lock up Coach and make sure he didn't go anywhere because we don't want Coach Ryan leaving us now.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get recruited by Indiana University or some of those big time teams. But he loves it here, as you mentioned, and we love having him here. He's been with us over 10 years, and he's got a great record. Surpassed his 200th win this past fall, and he's been doing fantastic. So we like to keep the coach happy, and especially when you're bringing home national championships. And hopefully next year we're trying to get that state tournament here, and so far the coaches have voted in our favor for our bid proposal. And we may get that. He may be playing for a state championship here next year, right here on the home court.
And then that banner's got to go up out there too. You know, got to hang a banner of the national champions.
That's right,
for sure, like they do in the big time. And if you get, maybe you can get as lucky as Florida Gulf Coast did, because they're a hot story right now. Everybody wants to enroll there because they see those pictures of the dormitories on the ocean front. We need to get some shots out of our campus and our city, let people know that, hey, this is a pretty good, cool place to come as well.
You got that right. It's a great place.
All right. Congratulations to you, Jim.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate getting the chance to talk with you.
You bet. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
All right. Dr. Jim Henningsen. He's obviously pretty psyched out about it. We got JJ. I don't hear you represent too much, man.
I've never been to a game.
Yeah.
So
I've been to more games than JJ.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you have any feeling of pride about it, or what?
A little bit, I guess.
Man,
not really.
You're not.
It's not that kind of school.
But I mean, still, it's your school.
Yeah,
it's your
cool,
community.
I guess.
You know, I mean, it's an accomplishment. You need to be proud of it, man. You need to let people know. You get a little older, you'll appreciate things like this. These things don't happen to you every day. It's not something just.
It's hard for me to consider myself. CF, it's just a commuter school, buddy.
I know, but it's in our city. It's
cool.
our institution. It educates people like you, and without CF, we wouldn't have you here.
I'm not hating on CF. I'm just saying there's not a lot of school pride when it comes to a lot of the students are older, like me. I'm not too old, but I'm a lot older than some of those people there.
You love the Canes.
Right, exactly. That's my team.
Yeah, but that's a college. That's a 4-year school, JJ. JJ, I got some work to do.
How are you just going to tell me what I have to
be
a fan of?
Because I'm your other daddy. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'll tell you. So,
this is weird to tell you.
I'll always tell you. Not only that, before you get here, I got enough to work on with Tom.
This
with
isn't
you.
Dr. Buddy on who I need to be a fan of.
Yes, it is.
I appreciate what they do there.
Good. That's at least something.
Yeah.
We're making progress. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish up the hour right here on the program called The Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none. We have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source. Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Hi, folks. Buddy Martin here, host of The Voice of Ocala, right here on WOCA. As you know, this show is made possible by the advertisers of local businesses right here in Ocala and Central Florida. I'd like to encourage you to take the time and visit these shops and keep small business alive in Marion County. If you have a business like to sponsor a segment on my show, The Voice of Ocala, we'd love to have you. Help Ocala grow, one business at a time. Call me, Buddy Martin, at 732-8000. Email me at buddy@woca.com. Advertise your business right here on WOCA, The Source.
WOCA.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless the recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Welcome back. A couple minutes ago right here before we wrap up Hour 1. Coming up next hour, Dr. Buddy's in the house. Also, we got tweets and quotes. Open up the phone lines for you next hour. If you'd like to participate, tell us about your weekend. You watch any basketball? What do you think? Who's the team you like best? How are your brackets going? What do you think of Florida Gulf Coast story? And on and on and on. It'll be open topics for you next hour on the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline at 622-9622. Of course, the big story in basketball, and really one of the biggest stories, when you leave the Today Show, after a brief little blip there about the weather, and pretty much dominate all the media the weekend, you're becoming more than a sports story. And you have to ask yourself, what is this all about? Tom James, who has covered this team and broadcasted this team for several years, he does local broadcasting, does internet broadcasting, he does some specials for the local affiliate in Fort Myers that covers him, and he knows the team quite well. Been telling us about this team for quite some time. We all went, yeah, right. Fluky win over Miami. And now they come on and they just absolutely sweep up all the attention at the tournament. And, you know, this is not just a story of Cinderella, but this is a story of way beyond that because nobody ever heard of this team. I mean, at least you've heard of George Mason. You heard of some of these teams. You know where they are. They've been around for a long time. This is a brand new school, and there are all kinds of stats about, every player on the team is older than the program and so on and so forth. And Andy Enfield is a terrific story, and he's got a great storyline. If you read the Washington Post story about him, the guy starts out. He's an all-time leading free throw shooter, by the way, in the country. Did you know that? In the history of the Bishop.
Play for James Madison.
No, plays for Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins, and he 92% free throw shooter. And started an advisory business on a company, all shooting net or something like that. And he started that out with a friend. Then he and his friend started a health company. They went to Wall Street, went public, and it sold for $300 million. And he went to work with a lot of money in his pocket for the Celtics and then Florida State and Leonard Hamilton, and he came down there 2 years ago. And notice, if you will, in the clutch, when the Eagles need free throws on their own line, which all good teams do, they make them.
They struggled
Can
early.
that be a factor? But not in the clutch.
Right.
Not in the clutch. And when the game is on the line, what will beat you or anything else if you, make stupid shots, stupid fouls. But if you can't make your foul shots in the final 5 minutes of the game, you're dead meat.
And you don't want to know that your coach is better than you at something.
For sure. And anyway, so he's also very popular. Did you guys see
Beautiful wife, by the way, supermodel wife.
Maxim cover. Yeah. She's got 3 kids now. But did you notice their dance? The chicken?
Yeah, what is that about?
What do you mean, stupid? You think the Harlem Shake is not stupid?
No, I think that's
What about
really
what
dumb.
is it? They never said yesterday what that was about.
That's called the chicken. I think they call it the eagle or the chicken. That's their old dance they do. That's. I tweeted out this morning, if you like the chicken better than the Harlem Shake, retweet this.
See, everything that they do now is cute. But it's not. It was dumb. It's just the chicken dance. They do that at weddings all the time.
How do you think anything like that happens? When some celebrity does it, or some team has got the spotlight, look at what's the girl's name? Is a girlfriend of the quarterback of Alabama?
Last year.
The one that was on the show Splash. What's her name?
Catherine Webb.
Catherine Webb?
Right.
What is she?
Right. That's like the unibrow last year. Anthony Davis's unibrow. It was like
perhaps
it was cool.
Except but I mean,
cool.
this team is. They're fun. They bring a lot of joy to people. People who aren't basketball fans.
Well, it'll be a different story around here on Thursday.
Well, it may be, but then if they win, they may end up beating your Canes. You never know. Again,
they could.
There you go. All right, another hour to go. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have Dr. Buddy, tweets and quotes, all kind of stuff. You can call us if you'd like.
At 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports. From NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source. Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless the recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
WOCA, Ocala.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
This is Don with ABC Fredericks Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Fredericks Appliance does repairs too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
They've served our country. They've kept us free. And they need your help.
We're sitting in Veterans Park. You can't sit here not realizing that you're surrounded by heroes. There are a lot of heroes in our community. A lot of heroes, unfortunately, are not in good financial shape. They're hurting both physically and financially. We step in and help directly. Our role is to reach out to them. We're there to help the veteran. We do counseling. We do outreach. Sometimes it's just coming into the office and sitting down and saying, hey, I've got a problem, and you're talking to another veteran who understands that problem.
Everybody who works for the Vets Helping Vets are awesome, and they are so kind to everybody. They're like my second family. They really are.
They have been there during the holidays. I have gotten unexpected visits, assistance.
Vets Helping Vets of Marion County needs your help. Call today, 352-433-2320, and pledge your support to Vets Helping Vets of Marion County.
It really has been a blessing.
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Arguments on gay marriage tomorrow and Wednesday are going for as much as $6,000. The arguments are technically free, but getting them requires lining up days ahead or paying someone else to. The first people got in line last Thursday. Authorities will review footage from a helmet cam worn by a skydiving instructor during his fatal jump in southwest Florida this weekend. The instructor and another man, both from Iceland, fell to their deaths on Saturday. A vial containing a potentially deadly virus is missing from a lab in Galveston, Texas. The virus, which is native to rats in Venezuela, was being studied at the University of Texas because of its potential to be used as a biological weapon. Some residents of Newtown, Connecticut say they're outraged at receiving robocalls from the National Rifle Association only 3 months after the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings. The calls that began last week urge people to tell their lawmakers to oppose gun control. This is ABC News.
I need to archive emails to comply with business regulations.
Do you have an IT guy to help search through thousands of PST files?
No.
Got time to install a complicated product or create detailed reports?
No.
You okay paying storage fees to save duplicate emails and images?
No.
Offshore automated phone tree support okay?
No.
Then yes, we can help.
The Barracuda Message Archiver lets you store and find emails fast to avoid compliance and litigation penalties. Easy setup and single instance storage will save you time and money. And if you need help, you'll talk to a live human. Try the Barracuda Message Archiver free. Go to barracuda.com/yes.
Prices are falling fast at Rent-A-Center. It's the rack roll down. We've rolled down prices throughout the store to their lowest levels ever. Shop our new lower prices on your favorite brands. Everyone's pre-approved for 90 days, same as cash, or flexible weekly or monthly payments with no credit needed. Hurry in and save like never before with new lower prices at Rent-A-Center. See store for details. Pre-approval means no credit check or credit required. Rental purchase transaction, 90 days, same as cash, now valid in Vermont.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone. He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala.
Hoo-ah! You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
All right, welcome back. Like the man said, hour 2 of the program. Not a lot of news today. It's all about basketball today, especially here where CF is rolling down the highway coming from, I don't know what that road would be. It must be coming down. They come over 70, probably came over 70 down to 75 and down, my guess is. And basketball team will be here sometime around 7:30 o'clock tonight. And you heard Dr. Jim Henningsen, if you didn't, saying that they're planning to have a patrol car or actually have a green and white from the Marion County Sheriff's Office meet him at the county line and bring him across. And they'll welcome him back. And then after that, they're going to plan some kind of celebration, probably downtown. Not tonight, but in the future. So we'll let you know as we hear more about these things all the time, keep you informed. You know, and what's fun to talk about today is basketball, because you couldn't escape it. No matter where you went. We went down to Gator Joe's and had a burger and watched some of the game there. And I came home and watched it, and I couldn't get away from the TV. I just watched more basketball this weekend I've watched probably, I don't know when. But there were so many good stories, especially with 3 Florida teams in it. JJ's Miami team, they gave me a little heartburn last night. They struggled until they finally pulled it out. And we'll talk about the guard play in the tournament. Who the best guard in the country might be. Well, does he play for Miami? Does he play for Ohio State?
Michigan.
Maybe, but
Trey
one
Burke.
single guard we'll talk about. Maybe a debate there.
I hope you're not about to
We'll
say
see.
this.
We'll see.
My question is, buddy, and you've been
Not
around,
just me, TJ. Other people are saying the same thing.
You've been around a lot of this. You've been around sports a long time. How does somebody miss so bad on Brown and on who was the guy that went to the point guard?
For who?
Not Larkin.
No, for Gulf Coast.
Oh, Comer.
How does so many
he
people
played
miss
high school ball with
Austin Rivers?
Yeah.
Exactly. So how did people miss on these two guys so much that they're at FGCU now showing out?
Well, first of all, if you see a kid playing high school, he's playing with Austin Rivers. He's not going to look too good,
Right.
Yeah.
How
many shots is he going to get?
Exactly. How much can he really show?
And I think the other thing is,
in the nation.
I think the other thing is that kids get better.
Yeah,
another year
they
or
grow
two
up.
makes a lot of difference. That guy's a senior. Comer is. He makes some moves down. We'll get into sports analysis now. He makes some moves down the paint, which I think are really good. They're really impressive. Looks like a Duke guard of old,
Right.
in there who knows how to handle it. I love it when they pivot and they give off to a guy or stop and take a. The biggest weapon that I see now that's being that it's being used effectively only part of the time is the 10-foot little teardrop.
Yeah.
That's the weapon that these guards can use when they go up against the bigs. That's the kind of thing.
People are looking for the charge too,
Right.
And you pull up ahead
Exactly.
of that. It works.
And
perfectly.
Florida guards used to do that, and they haven't done it very much.
Larkin does that.
Larkin does it a lot. He does, and really good guards know how to work getting that paint down there and how to either. And then if they start coming out on the guards, you dish it off to the big guys. So the low post passing game, the guards can be effective. The problem Florida's got, they can't get the ball into Patrick Young, and when they do, his hands are not that good.
Right. Florida relies way too much on threes. Outside game.
They do.
And if that's not going to fall,
well, thank goodness for us last night, because without the goals in the first half, they wouldn't have gotten there. So anyway, talking basketball this hour a little bit. Open phone lines for you at 622-9622. It's the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. If you're a fan, if you want to talk about your team, if you're getting beat or winning or pull for Florida Gulf Coast, what do you know about them? I've got some reasons to like Florida Gulf Coast. Also tweets and quotes coming up then this hour. And if you didn't hear it earlier, Dr. Jim Henningsen, the president of CF, was on the show, and he said that they're making plans now. They already got a billboard up out on 75, apparently, electronic billboard, touting the CF Patriots win. And there will be more news about that and about the future celebrations by the CF Patriots. I tweeted this morning to Mike Bianchi something I never do. And I said to him, he was talking about basketball, and I tweeted that Florida, basketball capital of the world, Gators, Canes, Eagles in the Sweet 16, Heat 26 straight, CF Ocala wins JUCO title, and he tweeted back, and this came from Marty Smith, the baseball coach, that Florida Southern's in the Division II finals. So we got to look that up and see if we can get information on that. The Moccasins, as they are, they're also in their Final Four. So basketball abounds everywhere. As I say, this is a day we're talking some basketball because it's March Madness. We do a full hour of sports, but I'm going to give you 3 reasons to love Florida Gulf Coast University. By the way, it's a team that I'm familiar with because I worked down in Charlotte County for 7.5 years. In my sports department, I didn't run the sports department. I was over it, but didn't run it. We covered some of their early games. I remember they started the program, and nobody really cared about them at that time. And here they are. And here's a couple of things that I think are interesting about them. First of all, just the sheer numbers. You might have seen this. Out of all the 8.15 million brackets turned into ESPN, how many do you think pick Florida Gulf Coast to reach the Sweet 16? What do you guys say? What percentage? Of 8 million, what percentage pick Florida Gulf Coast to make a Sweet 16?
1/3%.
So you're saying
1/3 of 1%.
1/3 of, that's really low. JJ? Any idea? Just shout it out. Doesn't matter.
I would just say 0.1%.
Well, you're right. It's 0.95%. That's what it was, which sounds, which is remarkable. But then Andy Enfield, he is a huge success story. Second year of a 5-year contract. Anybody want to guess how much he makes?
A year?
Yeah.
$300,000.
No way. Probably like 60,000.
No. You got to make more than that.
For real?
300,000.
All right, we're in between here. 157 a year. 157.5. All right. That'll probably change.
By the way, Florida Southern is in the Final Four.
Right. Who do they play against?
Not in the championship yet.
They're playing.
I said they're in the Final Four.
Western Washington.
Western Washington. They're in the NCAA D2 Elite 8, actually.
Tomorrow.
No, they're in the 4.
PM.
They're in the Final Four now.
Yeah, Final Four.
This says that they're playing Western Washington.
That's behind. That's behind. They're in the Final Four.
So their website's wrong then.
Could be. Could very well be. But they're in the Final Four.
I'm on the actual NCAA website. They beat. Florida Southern beat Alabama Huntsville 90-88 in the Elite 8 to get to the Final Four.
So then, this says they're in the Elite 8 playing Western Washington. So somebody typoed this wrong.
All right. Anyway, they're in the Final Four. And finally, I love these. Which one of these is your favorite, guys? The way they lob the basketball, they're known for their lobs. You see how they're like Lob City. Their lobs for their dunk, set up the dunk. The title, the nickname Dunk City, or the chicken dance celebration.
I hate the chicken dance. I like Dunk City.
I love it. I love the chicken dance.
Which one is your favorite
guy? Okay.
Which one?
Okay.
Which one?
The chicken dance is stupid.
Good. That's why I love it.
And Dunk City.
also dumb. But
is kind of dumb too. You guys, you know what you guys are?
They're not.
You guys are just a bunch of party poopers.
Why can't we just call them
Why don't
Florida
you
Gulf
go ahead
Coast?
and rain on the Florida Gulf Coast?
Why can't we just say it's a good story?
Why don't you just you know what? I need Tom James. I'm gonna kick you
Because
guys out.
this team
Let me
is
get
slowly
Tom James
becoming
in the house
our
here.
team's
And talk about
rival.
raining on story and trying to bring it down. You guys are all
No,
my goodness negativity.
I just think that anytime you come up with some stupid little label to try to explain something, it just cheapens it.
Here's the
To
thing.
say, oh, look, it's the chicken dance
You
team.
of all people talking about stupid labels, I don't think I'd be doing that if I were you. All right?
What do you mean?
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and see if we can make some sense out of this.
Is that something about the Trivianator?
I guess.
Is that what
I'm
you
not
meant?
saying anything.
By the way, Buddy came up with the Trivianator and Mr. Golf. I did not, just for the record.
But you accepted it.
Yeah, it's
so it's
you.
your deal. You want it, so you are. So
yeah, well,
that makes you more stupid than me, which is
that.
pretty bad. All right, we'll take a break, come back. After
somehow
this
I
timeout.
lost there. I'm not real sure how that happened.
Well, you have to pay attention.
Yeah, well.
All right, back after this timeout on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com.
Another Chicken Dance.
The Source. If you missed last Friday's Community Gazette Day at Gateway Bank, you missed the first installment of the Ask the Cop show, airing every second and fourth Friday from Gateway Bank. With your host, Buddy Martin, Chief Greg Graham of Ocala's Police Department, and Sheriff Chris Blair of Marion County Sheriff's Office joined us to talk about what steps they took for a smooth transition once they took over the leadership role of their individual police departments.
Give me a 60-second update of what's happened in the sheriff's office. Well, you know, my first 5 weeks in there, you know, the big thing is just looking at the organization and studying it, and we're basically looking at a lot. Doing the same thing with your department. Yeah, I've been back a year now. January 15th is a year, and you know, I truly believe, as does the sheriff, that the people that best know how to run the organization are the people that actually do the work in the organization. That's those men and women that are out there every day answering those calls for service, dealing with the public. So, you know, I did the same thing. I sought a lot of input and engaged the men and women that work there, and you know, we made some pretty significant changes and some small changes, and they've been part of the process, and it's gone really well. I tell you, I can't. I'm so honored to be back in Ocala, but certainly even more honored to have the opportunity to work and play with the men and women that belong to the Ocala Police Department.
Join us for Ask the Cops on the second and fourth Friday of every month, live from Gateway Bank's Community Gazette Day on the Voice of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Accident, injured, hurting. Pain affects so many of us and keeps us from enjoying our daily routine. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center. Let me visit with you to answer your questions. Let us help you help yourself on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA. Again, that's Dr. Riyad Fakuri, here to help you on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Brad, one of the hosts of Winging It here on WOCA every Friday at 9 a.m. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue regarding aviation. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots, in part due to the lack of new pilots starting their flight training now. A pilot needs 2 to 3 years to get through their training and to build up enough flight time to be able to be hired. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a private pilot's license. This license will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. Now, of course, the student does not have to have aspirations of becoming a commercial pilot. If they simply have a desire to obtain their private pilot's license so they may enjoy the adventures of flying, They may also apply for the scholarship. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact me, Brad, or Ron at Ocala Aviation Services. 861-7484. That's 861-7484.
What's up with you this weekend?
Just doing my taxes.
Doing your taxes? Go to Liberty Tax. Do you want your money fast, or do you want to wait?
Fast, I guess.
That's right. And where do you get America's fastest refunds?
Liberty Tax Service.
Let Liberty Tax show you the freedom.
Find us at libertytax.com or call 866-871-1040 today to find a location near you. That's 866-871-1040.
And remember, March 25th through the 30th, teachers get their taxes done free.
All right, time for our weekly segment. Dr. Buddy, tell you about today's subject is how to deal with your ex. This is a relatively new term. It's come about in the last 25 years. Obviously, it's we know what it means. But yet it's true. I'm looking at Huffington Post right now, and one of the mistakes that you make, of course, is continuing to flaunt yourself when you break up with somebody. Says Katy Perry shows John Mayer what he's missing in bra top. She has a picture of herself, but it looks like an ordinary top to me, but apparently they think that that's all for her ex, John Mayer. I'm not sure what an ex is. You know, it used to be ex was your ex-wife, but apparently it means everything. Ex-girlfriend, ex-date, ex-whatever, I don't know. But apparently it's somebody that you used to be with. Leave it at that. So today's topic, JJ will kill that off, and we'll start this out with a little bit of country music today.
Little George Strait.
Little George Strait, and this is one that if you don't know what it means, well, you'll get used to it. You will. A little song called "All My Exes Live in Texas." Now,
that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. You know this song, "Live in Texas." And now as that plays, we're going to give you a little Dr. Buddy advice. So an article off of Yahoo, and make sure we always, sometimes we write our own, and sometimes we crib a few, and this is one from Yahoo. This is advice for you about forgetting your ex, okay? And, you know, when you break up with somebody, especially if you're divorced, you always turn to the people near and dear to you for advice. Sometimes it's the worst place you can go, but you just want to talk about it. And you tell everybody, I'm over him, I'm over her. But you know, they're not.
Right.
So they go through, right? They go through this act. I'm over her. Oh, forget about him. So, it takes a little time to get past this. And
you got to be honest with yourself.
Well, you do, and you got to put your life back together a little bit at a time. And yet, somehow or another, you have this point to prove that, you know, you're better off now than you were before because you now have this person out of your life. So what you're doing is you're constantly making a fool of yourself, trying to prove the other person wrong. JJ's laughing like he knows what this means.
This
right?
one applies to me.
There you go.
Very well.
But when you do come out of a relationship clean and you feel good about your relationship and you can kind of not friends, because look, guys hate to hear girls say, can't we just be friends? No, we can't. Forget about that. That's not happening. If you're gonna dump me, I'm not gonna be your friend. I'm not gonna say bad things about you or write your name on bathroom walls. But I'm not going to be your friend.
Who writes names on bathroom walls?
I don't know.
That
Maybe
still goes down.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But anyway, so what I have now is 7 signs that you've moved on. Okay. Now you guys have had a few of those. I haven't had one of those since I was, in grade school or high school, college, whatever it was. I had my wife is still my wife, and I don't have an ex. So here's some things for you folks out there. 7 signs that you have moved on. And we'll find out if you're fooling yourself. JJ, this is for you, and to a lesser degree, Tom. Or you really are. Number 1, you don't talk to your ex anymore. During the split, you probably spoke about your ex a lot with friends and family. Just what do you want to hear about? Another breakup. Somebody else, oh my gosh, got to go through this thing again. Here's JJ. He's got another girlfriend.
I don't do that.
I don't want to hear. I'm just using you as an example because you're here. But you have friends that do it to you, right?
For sure.
For sure. Okay. So
some that do it way too much.
When you don't talk about your ex anymore, you've moved on. Okay. Number 2. This is the hard one. You don't mind seeing your ex with somebody else new. Now, when you see somebody with your ex, a new love interest, if it doesn't bother you, then you've either lied to yourself or you've moved on, one of the two. But you clearly think about this. Now there's somebody else's problem. So move on, all right?
It's a good way to think about it.
It's hard.
It's a great way to think
It's very hard to do. Number 3, this is for marriage, okay? A little bit. This is not so much for people who are just, if you have children. You share holidays. This, to me, for the people I know who are divorced, is always one of the biggest problems divorcees have. They always battle over this. Who's going to get them for Easter? Who's going to get them for Christmas? It's my year. I got to go out of town.
Birthdays.
All the time this is happening. They're constantly bickering with each other. I know people. I have people in my family constantly bickering over this if you have kids involved. And of course, that's no good. But you know what? Maybe you end up spending some holidays together for the sake of your kids. You know, if you're not married and you don't have kids or you do whatever, that's fine. But if you have kids, you're married or whatever, if you have kids, period, you know, step it up and do the right thing. Your kids are going to feel better about seeing their parents. All right, number 4, you know you're over the relationship when your ex asks you to pass the gravy on Thanksgiving and you don't feel like throwing at him. So that's one. That's good stuff. Number 5, you don't seek them out. Now, this is the thing, little game that people play, JJ. You know this.
They'll go to where they're at.
Of course. You show up at a
I know
place
they're
knowing
at this bar,
they're going to be here.
this
Oh, what are you
day.
doing here? I'm surprised to see you today. But, you know, and then
Tom's shaking his. See, Tom doesn't even want to get involved.
No.
Tom's got some great relationships.
I know he does. Here's the thing. Stop Googling your ex, okay?
Let me tell you something.
Stop. Hold it. I'm not done with you yet. Stop Facebooking your
You got to get them off your face.
Stop Facebooking your friends.
Oh, that's the first thing. You just drop them as a friend.
Yeah.
As soon as you break up, that's done.
Yeah. When you stop doing that and don't care, you've moved on. All right? Number 6, 2 more. I only got one more. I lost the last one, but this is the one about Facebook. When you don't want to be friends again and you broke up, you probably defriended your ex on Facebook.
I mean, you don't want to have to look at their pictures of other people with them and all that.
Of course you don't. No. So, you know, you can have a civil relationship, but you basically can't have a relationship. Don't go whining to all your friends about all the woes. You chose to have the relationship with the person. You gave and you got. You're just as much to blame as they are in the end. You know, it's my old mother told me a long time ago. It's so true. The old cliche, it takes 2 to tango. You know, so you can't, you know, you have your share of the contribution. So we make mistakes. We have relationships. They fail. You move on. Unfortunately, it's at a higher rate than ever because the divorce rate now, and forget about the rest of them, divorce rate's over 50%. So it's tough, but these are some things to do. If you follow this list, you know you're moved on and you're over your exes. All right, Dr. Buddy has spoken. You guys
That was
respond.
a great Dr.
That was a great Dr. Buddy.
Well, thanks for...
I don't like how Tom doesn't want to get involved and doesn't want
Well,
to
he's
act
trying
like
not
he
to
has any horrible...
No. Tom's past the age of putting his laundry out there, though. That's the thing, see?
I don't put mine out there either.
Well, you don't.
If we did, we would have a great
No, you can't
show.
do that. Then it could, no,
We would have a great show, and Dan would get ticked off at us.
Oh,
because
sorry. Dan stays ticked off. I said no.
You know, I'm ticked off.
You want to comment on that at all?
What, Dr. Buddy?
No, the subject.
I think Dr. Buddy was spot on.
Okay.
I think everything you said there is exactly what you must do once you break up. Once once you've decided you're done, then you have to just do
I've
that.
seen Tom in a couple of relationships the past couple of years that when they've broken up,
it's over.
It's over.
Because there's no reason.
I can't say the same.
There's
When
no
the big
reason
boy
to toil
breaks
on
up,
it.
he moves on.
There's no reason to toil on it. Once you've made the decision to move on, it doesn't matter what the other person's decision is. Move on. And one of the worst things people do, like you said, is that I forgot you hung out here. No, you didn't forget I hung out here. Stop it. You're a lying stalker who's stalking somebody. Stop it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just look at yourself in the mirror, right, Tom? You do that all the time. I didn't know
Just
you
get some-
worked here.
Like, people that know me know that there's 2 or 3 places I hang out. If I break up with you, don't ever go there again.
Right.
They belong to me. If you don't see it that way,
that's a you problem, not a me problem.
That's true. When it comes to those mutual places where you both go,
They belong to me.
Well, you got to decide who they belong to.
No, you don't. I just said they belong to me.
I wonder why his relationship.
But right. Can't figure out why he's broken up. No, but usually when you start a relationship or something, usually you make the effort to you show them the places you hang out. They show you the places they hang out. I'm going to be honest with you. Most of the places the people that I know hang out are cool. Most of the places some of the girls I've dated hang out are not cool. So she ends up hanging out with me, with my
And
friends,
thinks
and
this
where
is
I'm
cool.
at. Right. And then
Yeah.
she thinks afterwards it's okay. But no, you weren't hanging out here before we were dating. You're not now hanging out
These
here
are my
after we're dating.
friends. My friends. I take all my friends back
Yeah,
after this is over.
That's
You
a
don't
good point.
Talk
though.
to them.
That's a good point. That they try to take your friends, and this is not how it works.
Yeah.
That
I
happened in
can't
my
say-
last relationship, the one that ended in December. That's exactly what happened. She befriended everybody who was my friend after we broke up, trying to say, "Well, I don't come hang out anymore because Tom's there. But y'all can come. Why don't y'all get together with me and we'll go play?" Shut up. Sorry.
Let's not get too personal.
A little aggravated.
There's some places that you wouldn't go of hers. Like I can't see Tom going to Trey Chic, for instance. That he just wouldn't
Not-
fit there.
I don't even know
You
what that do you know where I
it's
did-
a cool place.
do you
It's
know where
on,
I did not go?
4 King Boulevard. It's really
What's it
good.
called? Trey Chic?
Chic. Yeah, it's got the restaurant's called something else, but it's
Right.
at the Trey Chic on
I'll tell you
4
what,
King in the historic district.
You're entirely correct.
It's a
I didn't
house.
I did not go to an establishment out in Silver Spring Shores, out that way, the Dugout, because that was her hangout. So I just didn't go because that's the rule. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, here's the thing for me, and it's been so many years I can't really speak to it. But back in the day, when a girl broke up with me, or I broke up with her,
Whoa, that never happened.
here's the deal: I'm done. Anybody who doesn't want to be around me, I don't want to be around them. Why should I want to be around them? They don't want to be around me, so see you later.
It was
Good
probably
luck.
a little harder in your
Have
time.
a great life.
Probably a little harder in your time, though, buddy. There was only like one bowling alley and a dance club. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it. wasn't it?
and one stoplight, and plus we only had one horse, so
Y'all had to walk. Y'all had to walk to school.
Difficult,
Y'all had to walk to school 5 miles in the snow uphill both
Backwards.
ways, didn't you? Backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, barefooted. So there you go.
That's another thing that aggravates me. Parents with that story.
Yeah.
5 miles uphill both
I have
ways.
a friend of mine who's younger than me who actually did have a log cabin that she and her husband lived in one time. And she was telling the story about it. And it was a nice log cabin. It was just a place that for young marrieds. It was a cool place to be. It was in the city. But she was telling the story. When I lived in a log cabin, I said, stop right there. When you tell this story to your grandchildren, their eyes are going to roll. Oh, no, Grandma. Don't tell the log cabin story again, you know? So, but you're right, for sure. All right, moving on to other things in the world of pop culture. I'm going to tell you about, what is there about NBC? NBC is just about to self-destruct, as it turns
They
out.
really are.
And, every day is another Matt Lauer story, and the whole thing, that lady says about why one of the problems was Matt Lauer just didn't like Ann Curry. Yeah, we know that.
You
by
know,
now.
if they made a reality show that followed around what was going on NBC and put it on NBC,
Yeah.
ratings gold. Because everybody cares so much
True.
about the backstory, but nobody actually watches their shows.
True.
We all watch these clips of Leno. We don't actually watch Leno.
Yeah, but they would never let that out. But you're right. They're about to lose their 2 flagship shows. I mean, the ratings are going down the tubes. And Savannah Guthrie, I'm sorry, she just doesn't get it. And Matt Lauer, he's trying to step his game up. He's lost his fastball. Jay Leno has lost his fastball and his curveball. And their main franchises, because the idea is to get you turning on in the morning, turning at night, is they're sadly sinking into West.
And their primetime shows are not good.
Yeah, and no, they're not that good. Although I did read today where if they get the voice back, that's supposed to help them. And the other one, what was that?
Celebrity Apprentice?
No, the one about it's the post-apocalyptic show.
Yeah.
Not Revenge, the other one.
No.
Whatever, anyway.
Who cares?
Where the lights went out and they're turning on.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
So, but those 2 shows supposedly
What
going
is
to help
the
them.
name of that show?
Yeah. But, like JJ
Resurrection
says,
or something? I don't know.
is that networks are losing more and more all the time. Although
Revolution.
Although I read a story today about the fact that from Wall Street Journal that that they're not losing terribly amounts of viewers, but they're being fragmented by all the other cable networks. And CBS, by the way, is buying another cable network. So that's what they're doing. They're splintering off and having more cable networks. So anyway, and I read a story in the Wall Street Journal today too about the fact that radio ratings are among young people holding up strong. AM and FM. They're listening to the radio. So that's good news. People still listen to the radio. Radio has its place. It always will. Just a little bit different this today than what it used to be. All right, it's time to take a break. Come back and see if we can find some other news to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about, well, I got tweets and quotes for sure.
Well,
and then there's a little story about a little girl who walked a mile after her dad died in a wreck or something out in the West. We'll talk about that, too. Get it for you right here on the program. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Relations got you down. Are you at your wit's end? Does the opposite sex just confuse you? Then I've got the solution for you, Dr. Buddy.
Well, let me just tell you what you slugs are doing wrong. Remember, dummy, it's about the chase and the romantic interludes, okay? Now, here's the difference. Instead of dinner and a movie, which seems obsolete these days, they have this random phone text, Facebook post, instant message, and quote-unquote non-dates. Traditional courtship, which is still what women want, guys. Picking up a telephone, asking someone on a date, maybe even going as far to pick them up in your car, requires courage, strategic planning, and a considerable investment in ego.
So now you know where to tune in to get all your relationship advice. It's the Dr. Buddy Show every Monday on the Voice of Ocala. You can succeed only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Life's journey has many ups and downs, but you can take comfort in the knowledge that Robert's Funeral Home is here to serve you and your family with loving care and dignity. The Roberts family has been providing their caring services since 1898 and offer traditional, custom, cremation, and veteran services. Pre-made arrangements are also available. Roberts Funeral Homes. Great funeral homes serve great people.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Right now, somewhere in the world, there is a bear waking up from a long winter's hibernation. Scientists are not 100% sure how a bear knows winter is over, but I think I may have an explanation. Here it is. Spring comes to Florida first, so Florida gardeners get that spring fever first and head over to Kenny's Place Nursery. They go to Kenny's Place for gazanias, impatiens, geraniums, and begonias, all for 99 cents each. They also head to Kenny's Place Nursery for pansies, selling for $4 for $1. Now, that is a honey of a deal. Well, the thought of the honey reminds those gardeners of the special role pollinators, like bees, have in the garden. Now, every bear knows that where there are bees, there is honey. So, their noses wiggle, their ears twitch, and boom, the bear wakes up. And all because of a great sale at Kenny's Place Nursery. Who knew? Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a honey of a deal at Kenny's Place.
Out the other side, she was hollering faster, took the dirt road, had the radio blast.
All right, coming up next hour, we're going to talk more about CF basketball. We've got the head coach of the National JUCO Champions, Tim Ryan, on the bus from Hutchinson, Kansas, rolling in here around 7:30. Around 5, Coach Ryan will join us on the program via phone. We'll catch up with him. I'm sure there's been a lot of celebrating. And likewise, if you heard the president, Dr. Jim Henderson, earlier, he said there'll be lots of parties, as well as should be, for an accomplishment like that for the CF Patriots. And we'll talk to him. Also, we're digging into the story on FGCU that JJ and Tom are just raining on all over the place, don't like. Everybody else in America
I love it.
Loves it, but they think it's childish. They don't like the chicken dance. They don't like the lob. Probably don't like the uniforms.
I love the lob.
They don't like their campus. They don't like anything about it.
Oh, my God.
So they just pretty much
So all of a
ripped
sudden
off.
I've become the number one FGC.
Yeah, you're a hater.
player in the world.
You're a hater. You're a hater.
I know. Trust me. When they play Florida, you better believe.
Of
I'm
course,
going
you
for
don't
them.
want Florida to lose every game. That's why. Not because you root for FGCU.
No, I have been. Even know they were going to destroy my bracket against Georgetown. I was still going for them.
I'm just telling you, America is enamored of this team.
If you want to do something that's going to be of national prominence, don't squat down like you're about to use the restroom and flap your arms in a chicken motion and expect me to get excited about it.
Let me ask you
Okay?
this.
Don't
Actually,
look like
the
a
more
complete
Tom
idiot.
hates it, the more I like it.
See, that's
think
why I
that
like
might
it.
be changed.
That's right. It's because, it's kind of, wait, Tony Kornheiser will love it. He always likes that counterculture
Oh, yeah, he
thing.
does.
Now, see, if you can have half the description of what you gave that dance, which is close to being vulgar, by the way, your description, what would you call the Harlem Shake? Never mind. I don't want you to start.
The Harlem Shake is
never
a
mind.
ridiculous
Never mind.
entity, too.
Never mind. But it's sweeping the country, Tom.
Because people are dumb.
You know what? It's like this. If it was 40 years ago, whatever, 50 years, they said the hula hoop, that's a joke. That'll never work. These are called trends, Tom. These are things. This is pop culture.
Well, guess what?
Stuff
We
that
need
happens.
better trends than this jerk maneuver.
Everything that, everything that's been popular has been born out of something like this spontaneity. What would you like for them to have? The foxtrot?
No, I think what they should have is, life-size photos of me that they're putting out there.
That's
Say,
what I want to
see,
see.
this guy right here
They
is
don't
a
have
trend.
They don't have a rodent problem, Tom. They don't need those.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. All right, so
you don't know. I've been in some of those areas.
I'm sure
You know
you
what
have.
I find funny? The gym at FGCU seats 3,500.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be playing in Texas Stadium. That the record crowd there is 108,000.
yes, up at North Texas, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, story. We talked about this a little bit last week, and you almost hate to talk about these because they're such downer stories. I mean, still, every time I see another veteran story, this morning I was sitting there, my wife and I were watching this, and this story about what's the name of the song that the big tall guy, country guy, wrote that about veterans. It's on the hit. It's on the top charts. Come on, help me out here. The guy who was on. You got it. You got it. It's at Trace Atkins. Is
Trace
it?
Atkins.
Yeah, he wrote that story, that song, which is really good. If you got it, JJ,
Arlington.
bring it up. It's about the veterans. And my wife, and there's this piece about a veteran who came home and said, veterans help this organization he's founded, and he said he'd have been one of the suicides had not been for this organization.
Right.
My wife's sitting there and she's crying watching this. How sad this is. I said, imagine if your son was in something like this, had been in a war, and had come out of it. Is this him, Trace Atkins?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
Arlington.
This is Arlington.
Yeah.
This is where I'd settle down.
Yeah.
That's not the one they're talking about.
No, it's not the one. It's a different one.
Turn it down. That's not the
There's
one.
another one. Yeah. It's anyway. It's the organization. I'm sorry. We'll look it up and find it.
He
But
has a newer one out.
yeah, it's one that is raising money to help veterans. It's the Wounded Warriors program. Is what it is.
Right.
But we'll find out. Anyway, you hear those kinds of stories and you just hate it. You just hate it, and you think, boy, there's so much sadness in this world.
and you get caught up in it. And we automatically tried to avoid things that make us feel sad. So we tend to push back from it a little bit. Say, I can't deal with that, whatever. But there are those things. Then you look at stories like this. You think, what do you think about this? And, war is, what are you going to say about war? It's the old line, war is hell. It is that. But the whole thing with what happened in the Middle East, in Iraq, is now coming home to roost for us. And we're not just talking about a bunch of renegades who are protesting war. We're talking about people who were in the war. I told you about a piece I heard last week on NPR about a guy who was still in the service, about what happened to his life and how he accidentally shot a child in war and how it affected his life. And here's a story about today, about Marine Corporal Edward Chin. On April 9, 2003, he was on international television, and there was a big rope around the neck of a massive statue of Saddam Hussein in Baghdad, in Firdos Square. And they toppled the statue over. They tore down the statue, and Chin became famous. Born in Brooklyn, after all this time, he goes back now. He told the New York Daily News, he said, what did we go there for? We weren't really looking for weapons of mass destruction. As Marines, we just do our jobs. We go where we are told. We hope that our leaders make the right decisions. Now, these are the kind of stories that resonate with me. You can't tell when you're caught up in it because you're caught up in the nationalism. We're all angry about 9/11. We all wanted revenge on our minds. We talked about it, Tom, being a family feud type thing where the son was trying to get the guy who victimized his father or tried to kill his father. And in the end, when you look only history, and you're a historian, only history can tell you when you look back at something. And when you look back at something like that with the supreme price that we paid 10 years later, and you have to keep asking the questions, the people who fought the battle, not the ones over here, not the ones who are protesters. They are the soldiers on the front line saying, what do we go there for? What does that tell you?
10 years in and you still don't have a clear understanding of why you went somewhere in an armed conflict tells me that it was never really stated why we were there in an armed conflict, and history's probably never going to prove why we went there. And when you go back and look at war, the Civil War was fought over states' rights and the abolishment of slavery. The Revolutionary War was fought over a group of people who wanted their independence from a monarchy. World War I was fought over anarchists that were trying to overthrow governments in Europe that ended up sucking in the whole world. World War II was the tyranny of two empires, Japan and Germany, that had to be quelled. The problem with the wars we've been in, the armed conflicts we've been in recently, there's been no defined reason for what you're trying to accomplish except for spreading democracy.
Yeah.
And
how's that worked out?
While I love democracy, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that work at my house that don't work at the Martin house. And what would you do if I came to the Martin house and tried to implement all that in the Martin house?
I wouldn't do that. Miss Johnny, take her roller pin inside your head.
Exactly. Well, that's the point. Do I have any business at the Martin house trying to implement what goes on at the Schmidt's house? No.
Well, but yet we sit back and watch Syria just falling apart.
Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes Mama says it's got to be.
But by saying here we went in. Why did we go into Iraq? What do you think? Oil.
We went into Iraq for the same reason we're good friends with the Kuwaitis.
Yeah.
Because that's where oil's at.
Right. And so we paid for it with our blood. And again, not to get on top of a soapbox, but just to say once again, when you hear those kind of stories, they resonate, saying, my goodness, and you can't do anything about it. And what's the old Santana quote about not learning from history?
If you don't learn from history, you're doomed
to repeat it. Exactly. So, all right, we'll come back.
I got a story that I got to get to when we come back.
We got to hurry because I got to tweets and quotes. So we'll come back and we'll do that next right here in the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hello. Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Warren Fay, lead writer for Rockstar Games' Red Dead Revolver. He's written a book called Pandemonium. It is a thriller novel.
Clay Gibbons is the Community Development Coordinator for Life South Community Blood Centers. He'll be on the air telling us how we can help our fellow humans.
And then on Open for Debate, we engage in intelligent disagreement so that we might learn something from one another.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then Heather Graham will be with us. She's a featured author for the Doubleday Book Club and the Literary Guild, and she's written a book called Let the Dead Sleep.
If you need disaster restoration on your home or business, listen to Damage Control with Joe Reichel and Rob Sobieski.
And then Wendy Fairchild is coming on. She's a diabetes care specialist. She lost 2 brothers to the complications of diabetes, and she's coming on to talk to us about how we can help those we love live with diabetes. All of that, plus Fun with Joe, on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Married men are more likely to keep up with routine doctor's visits than bachelors. Their cancer was detected earlier, so they were 35% more likely to survive. The longer we commute, the more stress we have in our bodies, the higher our body mass index, and the more strain it puts on our relationships. People learn more effectively when they break up their lessons over several short sessions rather than one long cramming marathon.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
All right, coming up top of the hour, we'll be talking to the, we're talking about the Florida Gulf Coast team. We have lots of notes and quotes from you from the weekend. March Madness. We'll talk to the head coach of the CF Patriots, and lots more coming your way. So stay tuned for all that talk in the next hour. Meanwhile, it's time now, JJ, for tweets and quotes. And Tom will give you the story he's got about the little girl. So let's see if we can find this here. Tweets and quotes today. Okay. Tweets and quotes, where are you? Here it comes. Here you go. Number 1, never mistake mere information for knowledge. You only know what you have tried, tested, and lived by. Philip Arnold. Close out with a couple of good ones from Stephen Wright. You can't have everything. Where would you put it? And finally, people ask me if I were shipwrecked and could only have one book, what would it be? I always say, How to Build a Boat, Stephen Wright.
As we close out the hour, we have a story of sadness, yet courage, JJ. A 9-year-old girl and her father were driving home down a California highway Sunday night, and the car went off the road, plunged 200 feet into a ravine. The girl, all of 9 years old, freed herself, crawled out of the window of the wrecked Ford Escape. After smelling gasoline, she went back in the car, shut the engine off. She started walking in pitch blackness towards the light. She got to the light. Nobody was home. She went back, checked on her father, then went back up a steep incline of 250 feet to a rural area of Los Angeles where she came up on a like a bus depot type place. She was able to flag somebody down. They called the police. The police, unfortunately, when they got back, the father had died from his injuries. But police said it was very dark, very dangerous out there, very steep, brushy, coyotes everywhere. And this little girl had the courage to try to save her father's life by getting out of the vehicle and trudging all over the mountainside trying to find someone that could help her. Talking about a courageous little girl in a sad situation. That's just, it's one of those situations you never want to be presented with. But at least the 9-year-old girl is, she seems to be fine, not hospitalized, but unfortunately her father did pass away. But that's still a great story and courage as she climbs to safety. Another story that just as sad that happened Friday. You ever been to the airport, JJ?
What kind of question is that?
You've been to the airport where you see the big arrival and departure signs hanging on the wall?
Correct.
Well, in Birmingham, Alabama, Friday, one fell, crushing a family of 5. The mother still in intensive care. One of the sons dead from injuries that resulted from this sign falling on him. The airport had just reopened from new renovations. This family was returning home from a vacation in Destin, Florida. They were from Kansas. They were just standing there underneath the sign when the sign fell from the wall. 300-pound sign fell from the wall and killed one of the children, broke a leg and nose of another child, gave a concussion to a third child, and the mother had a shattered pelvis, broke leg, broke arm, and she's in surgery. She's not in surgery anymore. She's in intensive care, still unconscious from her injuries. This place opened March 13th after a $200 million upgrade. Can somebody not afford some better lag bolts or something in the wall? I mean, I just don't understand sometimes how freaky these accidents happen. I guess it's a true statement. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. It doesn't matter, who you are, where you are. When it's time for you to be called up, you get called up. So I'm going to be very careful of standing under arrival and departure signs from now on. Coming up next hour, head basketball coach of the national championship JUCO basketball team from the College of Central Florida, Tim Ryan, joins us. And Franz Beard has called and asked for more time, JJ, because he has so much to talk about the bracket of 68 teams. I don't want to talk about it because we're getting crushed. But we'll do all of that next. We'll still have to talk about the brackets. And we'll talk to the national champion JUCO head men's basketball coach from the College of Central Florida, Tim Ryan, on Buddy Sports page on 1370 AM. 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of events, special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range. We usually hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA. In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6 right here on WOCA 1370 The Source.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 6th for the Francis Marion Military Academy Spring Fling at the Ocala Shrine Club on Maricamp Road. Join the first annual Swamp Fox Chili Cook-Off and Classic Car Show. Take a chance on winning one of 5 different late model vehicles for the unbelievably low price of just $20 per ticket. Only 5,000 tickets will be sold. The proceeds benefit the Francis Marion Military Academy. Businesses, organizations, and talented individuals are invited to show off their cooking skills and to compete for the best tasting chili. Go to swampfoxevents.com for the registration directions to the Shrine Club, Car Show, Chili Cook-Off. Join our sponsors in supporting the Academy. Remember, that's Saturday, April 6th for the Francis Marion Military Academy Spring Fling at the Ocala Shrine Club on Maricamp Road. The first annual Swamp Fox Chili Cook-Off and Classic Car Show. For more information, call Charlie at 843-7790. That's 843-7790. 843-7790. Or visit swampfoxevents.com.
They've served our country. They've kept us free. And they need your help.
We're sitting in Veterans Park. You can't sit here not realizing that you're surrounded by heroes. There are a lot of heroes in our community. A lot of heroes, unfortunately, are not in good financial shape. They're hurting both physically and financially. We step in and help directly. Our role is to reach out to them. We're there to help the veteran. We do counseling. We do outreach. Sometimes it's just coming into the office and sitting down and saying, hey, I've got a problem, and you're talking to another veteran who understands that problem.
Everybody who works for the Vets Helping Vets are awesome, and they are so kind to everybody. They're like my second family. They really are.
They have been there during the holidays. I have gotten unexpected visits, assistance.
Vets Helping Vets of Marion County needs your help. Call today, 352-433-2320, and pledge your support to Vets Helping Vets of Marion County.
It really has been a blessing.
WWWWOCA,
WOCA. You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Now, I'm Joan Bennett. Some residents of Newtown, Connecticut are outraged about receiving robocalls from the National Rifle Association, only 3 months after the Sandy Hook school shootings. The calls started last week, urging people to tell their state lawmakers to oppose gun control measures. More than 36 people have camped out outside the Supreme Court for days to get tickets to this week's gay marriage cases that'll be heard tomorrow and Wednesday. Some are being paid as much as $6,000 to hold a place in line for someone else. The High Court has agreed to take on another affirmative action case. It'll consider Michigan's effort to ban race-based preferences in college admissions. A video that's been seen more than 17 million times on YouTube shows people swinging by a rope from a rock arch in Utah. A 22-year-old man who tried to imitate that stunt was killed yesterday, hitting the ground below a 140-foot-tall arch in Moab. This is ABC News.
Never play leapfrog with a unicorn. Never run with scissors unless you're a tardy barber. Never wear a fanny pack. No, really, don't ever wear a fanny pack. And never trust a car that hasn't been trusted to Midas. Save on brakes, maintenance, and total car care for a car you can depend on long after the warranty expires. You deserve the Midas touch. Get a comprehensive oil change, tire rotation, and visual brake check for $19.99. Up to 5 quarts conventional oil, shop fees extra. Most vehicles at participating Midas.
New car?
New Honda Accord, rearview camera and Bluetooth hands-free link.
You're so into technology these days, LOL.
Most people are.
Hi, DK. You going through a midlife crisis?
No. Hondas hold their value better than any other brand.
A lot of guys compensate for their age with techie gadgets. NBD.
Get a Honda Accord with 0.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers at the Really Big Spring event, now at your Honda dealer.
The Bluetooth word mark and logos are owned by the Bluetooth SAG Inc. and any use of such marks by Honda Motor Company Limited is under license. Value retention claim based on ALG's 2013 model year residual value award for mainstream brands. Visit ALG.com for more info. See dealer for financing details.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, it's time to talk about March Madness. What a weekend.
I'm mad about it, all right.
It was one of the best weekends of basketball I can remember in a long, long time. All the way through the college ranks, all the way through the JUCO ranks, as they call it, and even to the pro level. Now we got Miami past 26 and looking down the road at 7 more possibly, and who knows, maybe they'll be able to beat the Laker record. But the stories that we're talking about primarily today are the Florida Gators playing the Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles. Who would have ever thought it? Now, I lived in South Florida for 7.5 years, and left there about 4 years ago. So I remember when Florida Gulf Coast started playing basketball. Of course, Tom James does too, because he later became one of their play-by-play guys. And I never thought I'd see this day in my lifetime. I once wrote a story for a football supplement down there. It was a sort of a satire, a sort of a sci-fi on looking forward to college football in 10, 12, 15 years. And I had a game between the Florida Gators and the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles for the football championship of college football. Well, you know what? That won't happen in basketball, but who would have thought they'd be playing in the Sweet 16? I mean, I don't think even Tom James thought that. So, Florida Gulf Coast, a 2001 odds to win the tournament, which is tied for the third worst. They're now 40-1. JJ, I don't think many people can jump that fast. They're 40-1. Would you bet them at 40-1?
No.
Yeah, but you wouldn't bet them at 2,000-1 either.
No, No.
Yeah.
You got actually 40-1 right now. That's still good money on a team that's rolling through.
Correct.
Legitimate. You
And
know, if it was like Florida who beat Georgetown and San Diego State, they would be, 4-1 odds.
Now, I want to ask you guys about this later. When Tom James comes up, what are they realistically? I don't know what the Vegas odds are on that game. We look that up and see, but I'm telling you, this is not a good matchup with the Florida Gators. If you've seen this team play, this is a team of high flyers, high energy. They move the ball, and they handle the ball extremely well, something that Florida's guards are having a hard time with.
Florida's laying 13.
Yeah, 13. That's too many points. Too many
Not
points.
a lot of respect.
Although the Gators did look really good for the first half against Minnesota. And by the way, speaking of Minnesota, W. Smith fired.
Fired today.
Fired. That's a shocker. Anyway, we'll get back to basketball in a second. Guys, think about it. Meanwhile, this just in, the new name of the tournament at Bay Hill is the Tiger Woods Invitational.
He's won it 8 times.
Wow. And he's back to his old ways. Today I watched part of it, and I must say there was a streak. The one shot was at 17, where I believe it's 17, where his playing partner hit it in the water. Ricky Fowler.
No, it was
16.
16. And then Tiger had to hit the next shot, and he had a tough over the tree. They said if he just hit it up to the right side behind the green,
well, he
knocks it on the green.
He was in the sand, and that's the exact same spot that he was at.
He hit it in the water on Friday.
Right, correct. And so, but he just sort of, that was the old
Tiger.
Tiger.
He didn't have to hit it there either.
Correct.
He could have
but
easily
he had
laid up.
Like somebody said, Johnny Miller or who it was, he had something to prove.
Yeah, and he had that MJ tongue out after he hit the ball. He's looking awesome, man.
He and the kid from Florida Gulf Coast.
Ha! See? He's ready for Augusta.
This is the third time he's won 3 tournaments before Augusta. Guess what his record is at Augusta in the
years that he
2
won?
times previous?
Did he won?
He's 0-2.
Okay.
There you go. But anyway, he's playing good golf. All right, a couple other things here before we get back to basketball. What's up with your NASCAR boys? Brawling there.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, this is our bobblehead, Tony Stewart.
Yesterday,
right
I was very, very excited to see Tony Stewart finally show some of the emotion that made him a NASCAR champion. And Joey Logano, who yesterday, after last week's race, complained about how bad Denny Hamlin was as a racer and would cut him off and everything. Going for the win yesterday, Denny Hamlin did the right thing, clean racing, allowed Joey Logano the half of the track to come up off the apron. Joey Logano wrecks him, but then
broke his back, actually.
But broke his back. But here's the bad thing. Not only does he wreck the guy, but that happens. When you're racing for the lead like that and there's a little tension from last week, sometimes you'll go up and bump that guy to make sure you put him into the wall and you finish the race. But you don't wreck yourself at the same time. Joey Logano wrecks both of them. Denny Hamlin comes down the wall, hits very hard into a non-safer barrier wall, breaks his back. Joey Logano in the after the race interview, classless that the little punk is, says, "Well, after
seems
what he
like
did,
very biased reporting.
after what he did last week, he deserves what he gets." So then cameras caught Tony Stewart going down there, just punching Logano in the face twice. Logano tries to swing back, and that
was not a legit fight.
That stemmed from, well, they never are. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. They're never legit. But let's be honest.
Logano said it should be like NHL where they let them fight, and first person that goes to the ground, that's
but
when
let's
they break
be
it
honest.
up.
No fights are actually good fights except for ones in the squared circle, okay? Boxing matches and MMA matches are pretty good fights. Everything else pretty lame. But NASCAR definitely going to put a little pocket change into their pocket because Tony Stewart, Joey Logano, somebody's going to come out of their wallet for this incident.
Going to happen. All right, back to basketball. Question: who's the best guard in the current tournament, Sweet 16? Or which one? Who's the best you've seen so far? I mean, Aaron Kraft yesterday. You got to give it up for that guy. He
ice in his veins
after he missed key shots, missed foul shots.
That's what I'm saying. So how are you saying he's the best? Just because?
No. I'm saying I'm asking.
Cleared the way and hit a jump shot.
No. His spirit is what drives that Ohio State team.
Hustle players.
He's a team leader. Even though there's question whether he had his foot over that circle or not in that call, maybe it was a bad call. The fact is he was there. He's always there. And even when he plays badly and misses foul shots, he made the ones that counted. He made the free ball that put a dagger in the hearts of Iowa State.
But I don't think it's even up. I know you create this to try to have discussion, but come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, Shane Larkin.
Larkin's the best point guard in the
Shane
tournament.
Larkin is certainly, I think, the best. But I'm going to tell you what.
I think Trey Burke is.
Well, he may be too. But what most people are talking about now, they're talking about Aaron Kraft as being the best guard in the tournament. That's what they're saying. Here's one, by the way, talking about people with no class. Marshall Henderson.
Oh man! See, that was my favorite guy in the tournament.
I figured. Yeah,
he does the same thing as Kraft.
Yeah.
Gets his team
he didn't.
Yeah, you're right. He's better.
No.
He scores way more points.
He ran around flipping off. He ran around flipping off.
Let me tell the story here. I'm trying to tell the story. So give me a chance here. The game's over. Double flip to the crowd.
Did he?
In Kansas City.
Yeah,
yes.
flipped everybody off.
Flipped them all. Oh, that's really cool.
That's not good. There's
That's
kids
really
in the
cool.
crowd and everything. The
That's
SEC
really
should suspend the little brat for half the season next year.
Yeah. Anyway, that's your Marshall.
I guess he didn't like LaSalle fans.
Yeah,
He should have to sit out the first 15 games next year.
All right,
You knew
anyway,
he would do something like that.
three best games of the weekend, in my opinion. Ohio State over Iowa State, terrific game. Indiana Temple, boy, oh boy, oh boy. The Temple played too good to lose that game. It's just too bad they had to lose. But that kid Wyatt, he can fill it up, man. He's a
Now,
shooter.
when you say over the weekend, do you mean just Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not talking about early. Just over the weekend.
Well,
we talked about some on Friday, and then you add in Miami and Illinois. I think was a really good ball game. Although if you're a Miami fan, you died 1,000 deaths. So.
But you know what's great about the Miami team is even though it is close like that, they always seem to have confidence, and they don't look like they're going to lose ever.
Well, it looked a little antsy for in the end. I was concerned about it because I have them to win the whole thing.
Larkin hit that step back three.
He
with
did,
1 minute left.
much like Kraft did.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm drawing the analogy. The game's on the line. Who gets the ball? That's what you want on your guards. Finally, got to go to break. What worst calls? Was it the lack of the block charge on Kraft, or the heel over the line, or the zone there, or the out of bounds tip given to Miami after Kaji clearly not
That
hit?
was bad.
Oh my!
And
goodness.
they couldn't review it. I didn't understand why they can't review it.
That was the worst. That was the worst call, but the best game, without doubt, buddy. FGCU beating San Diego State.
Yeah, wasn't the best game.
Oh, of course it was.
No. Well, it
no,
was not
no,
the most competitive game.
You didn't say that. You said best game.
Yeah. Well, for you,
it was the best game.
Well, you're just a guy that just rained on FGCU a couple of minutes ago. Now you're saying it's the best game?
No.
You're falling back in love with them, or what?
The game was a great game. I enjoy watching them as long as they're not doing that stupidity thing, the chicken dance.
The great thing about them is they bring a lot of joy to basketball. In terms of games, those are the three best, the most competitive, best games, and that's what people are going by.
In your opinion?
No, an opinion of everybody.
Not my opinion, so it can't be everybody.
Bottom line is it, my opinion is all that counts on this show.
That's your fallback, but I'm starting to disagree with that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you can disagree all you want to. It doesn't matter. Go out in the hall and tell somebody about it. I don't care. All right. So, final note: each one of Marquette's last 8 games decided by 8 or fewer points. How about that? 8. And finally, Dick Vitale tweets: "How did FGCU lose to Lipscomb twice?
And Mercer.
Stetson, let me get to the list. Stetson, Maine, and East Tennessee State. Never mind Mercer.
Mercer has a losing record, too.
Yeah.
That's why it's a big
All right, that's it for now. We'll take a break. Coming back, we're going to talk to the head coach of the National Championship, JUCO champions, the coach of the CF Patriots, Tim Ryan, next, right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. And what I say does matter, buddy. The source. Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports. From NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source. Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies, Gifts, and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies, Awards, and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies, Awards, and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
WOCA. On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Warren Fay, lead writer for Rockstar Games' Red Dead Revolver. He's written a book called Pandemonium. It is a thriller novel.
Clay Gibbons is the Community Development Coordinator for Life South Community Blood Centers. He'll be on the air telling us how we can help our fellow humans.
And then on Open for Debate, we engage in intelligent disagreement so that we might learn something from one another.
Have all of your gardening questions answered by Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on You've Got a Garden.
And then Heather Graham will be with us. She's a featured author for the Doubleday Book Club and the Literary Guild, and she's written a book called Let the Dead Sleep.
If you need disaster restoration on your home or business, listen to Damage Control with Joe Reichel and Rob Sobieski.
And then Wendy Fairchild is coming on. She's a diabetes care specialist. She lost 2 brothers to the complications of diabetes, and she's coming on to talk to us about how we can help those we love live with diabetes. All of that, plus Fun with Joe, on the next AM Ocala Live, right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.7 FM, The Source.
Cookies, 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 cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies, cookies,
Yum.
cookies, cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
Born to kill tattoo, tried to cut in, I knocked out his front tooth. We ran outside, hood sliding like Bo Duke. What was I thinking?
I don't know, JJ, the music you should be playing right now is On the Road Again, because the bus is rolling down the highway, and I don't know where they are right now, but probably within the next 2 hours and 15 minutes or so, the new national junior college champions will be rolling into Ocala. On the phone with us is the man who made that happen, the head coach of the CF Patriots, victorious Saturday night over Northwest Florida State, 74-69, won the NGCAA National Championship. Coach, how you doing?
Great, buddy. I appreciate you having me on.
What's it like for you, my man? Are you riding on cloud 9?
I'm sure it's all going to hit, but it's I'm just really tired right now. It's been when you're up there, we were up there for we were up there over a week ago. It was a 2-day ride up there. We had to sit around for a couple of days. And then once you start playing and you win, you get very little sleep because you have to prepare for the next day. And you really only get like maybe 3-4 hours of sleep a night at the most, preparing for the next day. And then we won, and now we had a two-day trip back. So we're looking forward to getting back to Ocala.
Well, I know it's a long trip. I know you feel like it's worth it. I just want to say right now, I mentioned this to President Henderson earlier today. In that movie called Jaws, there was a line that said, "Need to get a bigger boat." I think what you needed was a bigger dream.
Yeah, we talked about that early on, and who knew this was going to happen? So we're just ecstatic about it. So.
Yeah, we talked that day sitting downtown about you getting a chance to win a state championship on your home court, which still could happen, by the way. Who knew that's within months you'd be winning a national championship on a national scenario, on a national scene in Hutchinson, Kansas, and bringing home the title for the first time for the CF. And can you walk us through the couple of games, Tim? I know we watched some on closed circuit, but tell us about game one and what you saw and how you felt your team. Obviously, Eugene McCrory had a huge tournament.
Yeah, I think the each and every game really had the same theme to it, and that was with our guys just understanding what we needed to do to win each game and coming together, sacrificing their points or their glory to get that ball into Gene. And Gene was just a monster in there. And then our guys, when Gene didn't come up with the shot, somebody always came up with a big shot for us at different times. And then also the defensive side was tremendous. It was just, I think that was really what got us through the conference, the state, and the national, was being able to hold opponents. We went through the state tournament and the national tournament playing the best teams in the country, and only once did anyone shoot over 40% against us in the entire time, and that was against Spartanburg. They were 34-1. They finished 35-1. They won third place. We're the only team in the country to beat them, and they shot 41% from the field against us.
That's a great point. I don't know if there's such thing as a lockdown zone, but you guys that zone really worked for you. I was surprised how effective it was, and of course, Northwest Florida's three-point shooter was not having a great night. That helped a little bit. And when he finally did start scoring, by that time you were ahead, had a big lead. Right. But talk about your zone. What's so different about it?
Well, first of all, the guy from Northwest is a tremendous player. He's a great player, but he's not a great three-point shooter. He only shoots 33% from the three-point line, which, when you look at a guy that shoots 33%, you say he's capable of making the shot, but he's not a great three-point shooter. He's very good, and we knew that going in. He takes in that zone. If we could stop his penetration and force him to take threes, which is what we did, is what held him down. But, I'll tell you a story. When I was at a clinic a long time ago, many years ago, Rick Pitino, they asked him, what is a good zone compared to what's not a good zone? So he said, that's easy. And he went on the board, and he took and he drew 5 guys. He put X's, like in a 2-3 zone, he put X's, and there were small X's. And he said, this is a bad 2-3 zone. And then he drew big X's representing big players. And he said, that's a good 2-3 zone. And that's what we have. We have just a huge team of really long and athletic in that 2-3. And that's what, Syracuse recruits every year like that. And that's why they play that 2-3. It's hard. Steve Forbes, the coach of Northwest, had said that, he knew he couldn't, they didn't want to just try to jack up threes against us, because that wasn't going to work. So they wanted to try to get the ball inside. The problem with that is, you get it inside, you're not going to get great shots inside from us. You're going to get contested shots, guys going after your shots, because we got athletic big guys. They're going to block your shot. You come in there. So it's for us, for our team, it was the perfect defense to play. And we haven't been in the past a big zone team. We've played a little bit of zone, but we've mostly been a man-to-man team. But with this makeup of this team, the zone we thought was the way to go.
Well, you shut them down. You knew they were going to make a run at you in the second half at some point, and they did. And it got a little scary there for a while, but they were jacking up threes. I think they got it down to, 3 or 4 points at one time?
They got it down to 3, I believe, yep.
and they were jacking up threes, and you knew they couldn't keep hitting them. They just couldn't, and they didn't.
Right.
And
What happened was, they got us a little rattled with their pressure. Some of my guys made some mistakes of trying to, instead of controlling the game, they tried to force some stuff, and so they got us into a fast-paced game. And they hit a couple threes that got them excited, but they're not a great three-point shooting team. And once they hit those couple of threes, they kept jacking up those threes. And I said, they of all the teams we played in the 3 state games and the 4 national games, they're the worst three-point shooting team that we've played. They're a great team now, but they're not a great three-point shooting team. So they hit a couple threes, but they weren't going to do that consistently, and they didn't down the end.
And like you said, I think you guys had 15, 16 turnovers in the second half or something, and that's unlike your team to do that. But let me just say about Eugene McCrory, in addition to the fact he seems to be hitting his stride right now as a player, he can score the ball. He's got great hands. He picks up loose balls, and he's quick to get up and go back up and get the tip. He really he moves really good for a big guy, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. When he first came to us, he wasn't ready to play college basketball. He was, 6'8", 280 when he got here, and he didn't move very well, didn't have a great motor. And last year, what we were able to do was we had a 5-man that was just the opposite 5-man that went really hard, and kid named Ollie Fuller that's just playing at Charleston Southern now. And so Eugene had to sit behind him, and Ollie wasn't anywhere near the talent. The skill level, I shouldn't say the talent, the skill level that Gene was. But Gene had to sit and watch a guy that was not as good as him play while he sat the bench. And he made strides last year, getting better, and of understanding that if he wanted to play at this level, he had to go harder. And that's what he's done. He's like you said, he's hit his stride. He's hit his stride this year.
Yeah, of course, we don't leave out other people. Obviously, Rasham Suarez hit a big shot for you. Key shot, and he was all tournament. I understand as well.
He had a great, probably the best game of the year he played in that final game.
Yeah,
he had terrific, not just the shots that he made, but the floor game. He had 1 or 2. He got caught up in that pace at the end. He had 1 or 2 turnovers at the end, but he had a very good head about him. Slowed it down a lot of times, pulled it back out, and tried to set Gene up. That was the best game he's played all year.
Well, you must have heard lots of calls and texts the last couple of days. Ocala's excited about you getting home. I know you're going to have a police escort here pretty soon to guide you in. How are the kids taking it? Are they excited about it?
I don't know if they know right now. Everybody in the bus is really like you said messages. I don't know how many messages I've had, but it's been hundreds. By the time I put my phone on after the game, I had over 100 messages right off the bat. But it's been hundreds of messages since then, and we just got a message. There's a magazine that wants to do an article on us, and so they text me and asked me to send them a picture of the guys on the bus right now. Like they're excited. You don't understand. We've been on the bus for 2 days. They're not really excited right now. They're excited to get off the bus.
Oh, man, that's a long.
So I had to take a picture of a couple of guys that were trying to muster up a smile. So, but yeah, it's tiring.
You're doing it all. You're tweeting and you're taking photographs and you're texting and you're doing it all there. Well, I know that you said this before, and I talked to your president today. We reiterated the fact that you said you think this is the greatest venue for college basketball in the country, and now you made it a whole lot better with the national championship. And just think about it next year when you take the floor and having a banner out there that says National Junior College Champions. Yeah. Amazing.
But it hasn't all hit in, and it's coming slowly and slowly. It's starting to hit waves of just how big this is for everybody, and it's just great for the community. It seems like we're not back there yet, but all the texts and messages and emails and tweets and everything else that we're getting right now it's just affect a lot of people, and I think it's just tremendous for the community.
Well, I want to thank you for letting us have a small part of you during the year and keeping up with you, and for bringing the glory back home to Ocala and Marion County. And congratulations to you, Tim, and your coaching staff and your players. Look forward to having you back home here in a couple of hours and celebrating your victory as national champions.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First of all, we are going to be getting in about 7:30. They're going to have something out there for us They're going to have some food and stuff for anyone that shows up tonight. Also, you said something about my staff. My staff doesn't get enough credit. Lance Foreman and Tito Arias, they do an outstanding job. These guys work through the nights out at the state tournament, at the national tournament. I may be getting 3-4 hours of sleep, but they're getting an hour of sleep a night working and preparing. So just wanted to give a shout out to those guys.
Absolutely. We need to get them on the radio once things slow down. I believe you might be going to the Final Four, right?
Yes, I'll be up in Atlanta.
And so just a quick question. Andy Enfield and Florida Gulf Coast. What a story, huh?
They're great guys, I know I know Andy from when he was at Florida State, and I've talked to him when he got the job down there first. I know their assistants real well. Just couldn't be happier for those guys. Unfortunately, I think for the people at Gulf Coast, I don't think Andy will be around too long now.
Yes, I would say so. I would say he's going to have his pick of some jobs. But it's a great story. It's great for college basketball.
Absolutely. I'm just so happy for Florida right now, Florida basketball. It's great to be a part of it, with all these guys winning. All the guys that are still alive in the NCAA field. The runner-up was Northwest Florida, and of course, we talked a little bit about Florida Southern being in the Final Four right now in Division II. Just a great year for college hoops in Florida.
And 3 teams in the Sweet 16. It's a good year. And don't forget the Miami Heat, by the way. They're not doing too bad either.
Miami Heat's not a bad team either.
We'll travel safely those last few miles, and all the best to you and the team. Thanks very much, Tim.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Tim Ryan, head coach of the national champion CF Patriots. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. We'll join the man who used to broadcast Florida Gulf Coast. And he'll have a few things to shed. I'm sure he got all choked up and emotional yesterday in that ball game. And we'll talk to Tom James next right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Hi, I'm Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness, Ocala's premier small group and personal training fitness studio. Did you know you can achieve all your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, getting fit, or training for a personal best, all with no membership fees? Have you ever been embarrassed or intimidated at a big gym because you're not a Greek god or a size 0 supermodel? Have you ever felt like your gym would rather you not even show up? At KMF, we have a team approach that focuses on small classes and personal training, and you'll feel like family, not just another number. No more boring treadmills or endless reps. Our classes are fun, energetic, and get you the results you want. And I should know, with the help of our great trainers, I lost over 100 pounds in 8 jean sizes, and I did it using no heavy equipment and no magic pills, just fun and effective workouts. And yes, I did say fun. Come join us at KMF. Visit our website at kmfocala.com or like us on Facebook. Again, that was kmfocala.com.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Hi, this is Brad, one of the hosts of Winging It here on WOCA every Friday at 9 a.m. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue regarding aviation. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. in part due to the lack of new pilots starting their flight training now. A pilot needs 2 to 3 years to get through their training and to build up enough flight time to be able to be hired. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a private pilot's license. This license will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. Now, of course, the student does not have to have aspirations of becoming a commercial pilot. If they simply have a desire to obtain their private pilot's license so they may enjoy the adventures of flying, they may also apply for the scholarship. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact me, Brad, or Ron at Ocala Aviation Services. 861-7484. That's 861-7484.
Every day we hear another story about innovation or about cutting-edge technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. Did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that may impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name Renstar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize that Renstar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important research studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at Renstar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people have done and are currently doing. Renstar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend the opportunity to you to be a part of these cutting-edge programs. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. Renstar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. Renstar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. All right, so I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool that they do the chicken and they lob the ball and they're called Dunk City, and
that's cool.
I had the wrong guys on the show today with me. I should have had the guy who knows something about the team instead of two guys who are trying to be haters, FGCU haters.
Well, the chicken dance. Now you're making it seem like I'm hating on them.
The chicken dance is stupid.
I hate the chicken dance. That's it.
The chicken dance is dumb.
So anyway, this is what I put up with every day, Tom James. This is what I put up with, this kind of mentality. What a wonderful story, isn't it?
It's what happens when you're in the heart of Gator country, and this isn't Dunk City up here.
Well, the thing about it is, you only got one guy as a Gator fan. He's just a moderate one. The other guy's a Hurricanes fan. So there you go.
Well, I have to correct you on one thing. It's and what they're doing there. It looks like what you know of as the chicken dance, but that's really an eagle.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're calling it the eagle, but yeah.
Flapping the wings, right?
See, I like that way better.
Okay, well then if that's what it is, it's really stupid, and that's coming from a guy who was an Eagle for 4 years of his college career. That's an embarrassment to Eagles all over the country. God, now they're really ridiculous.
Okay, let's get back to the program of the normal stuff and talk about this team, which has captured the imagination of the American public, and now, of all things, winds up playing against the Gators, the 13-point underdogs, which I'm surprised at because I think they got a good chance of beating Florida. And let's talk about you and your relationship with Andy Enfield and the fact that you know that you covered their games, you called their games. Give me the insight to this team. Are you shocked completely, or do you think maybe this could happen?
Buddy, it's interesting to watch them from when he took over at the start of last season to where they are now. You kind of got the feeling that he brought in a lot of his good, talented players with his state of Florida recruiting connections that he had through being an assistant at Florida State for a half a decade. He brought in some really good guys. This season, they took it up another notch. And it's kind of like when you're drilling for oil and you got a steady stream of oil coming in and it's going okay. And then all of a sudden you tap into that gusher. And you've had this steady improvement, and all of a sudden it's just like at just the right time they found out what they could really be, and they did it at the exact time that was most beneficial. And that's what really happened with this basketball team. I think they knew they were good all season long. I knew they were good. A lot of us did.
Your phone's going in and out for some reason. Your phone's going in and out or something.
The volume on it's going up and down.
Are you turning your head or something? We're kind of half losing you there. All right.
Let me call you back from a landline.
All right, good. Okay, call back real fast. Yeah, I think that's what he's telling us. That
everything came together all at the right time.
Yeah, they did. And I remember when Enfield was hired, There was a guy from the Florida staff who wanted that job who would have been a good coach for them. He didn't get the job. And I talked to Tom James. He said, they made a mistake not hiring this kid because he's a pretty good coach. He said, I think this infield kid is going to be pretty good, this guy. He said, just talking to him and, hearing about his background. And he said, I think was a good decision. I said, well, I never heard of him. And I remember now talking about him. So, who knew? You never know.
His pedigree's pretty good, though. When you see where he's been and everything.
Well, the great story is that I told this earlier. You probably heard it all by now. The fact that he was the leading free throw shooter in the country, 92% at Johns Hopkins. That he started a business, a free throw shooting consultancy, and he also eventually went to Wall Street and had a company, a health services business. They sold it for $300 million, and so he winds up back.
Not
in
a
coaching.
dumb guy.
No, not a dumb guy. Is that Tom? Is that
Correct.
Tom? All right. We're continuing on the infield story. I have remember now. You tell me when he got the job, and I asked you about it because they had a chance to hire a Florida guy, and you said this guy's pretty good. I remember that conversation with you.
Yeah, he's really been the guy, and they just discovered they hit the mother lode this weekend and really discovered how good they could be. And I don't think we've ever seen a 15 seed that's nearly this athletic, and I think that totally caught Georgetown completely by surprise.
Well, it did, and they played extremely well yesterday, and they're just fun to watch. They bring a lot of joy to the game, and they're having fun. It reminds me a lot, and I go back a few years, and I can remember this for you guys because you run around then, but the Jacksonville University team, who, by the way, was a pretty darn good Cinderella story itself, although Jacksonville did get elevated to number one in the rankings during the season, they never won a tournament game. And they came along with Artis Gilmore and Pembroke Burrs and Rex Morgan and Von Wedeking and whatever, and these guys, and Joe Williams was the coach. And this reminds me of the same kind of team because they have so much fun playing a game. And conversely, we all have fun watching them.
Yeah, and they're an absolute blast. And you talk about that JU team, which is also in the Atlantic Sun Conference, and Artis Gilmore does the color commentary for JU basketball. But that was one of the first teams that really had the Twin Towers, that Jacksonville team.
Pembroke
Is that right?
Burrs and Artis Gilmore, correct.
Yep.
So out of all the things that happened, who was the player or the thing? We've got about a minute to go that impressed you the most.
I will have to say it's something
Sherrod
interesting.
Brown?
I saw Andy Enfield with a little glassy look in his eye as he was doing the post-game interview just as the game ended yesterday, and he was just sort of holding back some tears. And his first game was at TCU out in Fort Worth last year, and I went out and did the broadcast, and he came over to the scorer's table. They missed a shot at the buzzer that would have won him the game, and I could see that same emotion in Andy Enfield's eyes. He was just sort of holding back some tears at that point, and I could get the sense from him that he knew he was onto something, and that his kids were already at that time buying in. And last night, I think it hit him again in a different way, and he knew that in less than 2 years, what he had helped make this university and make this basketball team, and it was pretty cool to see that. I saw that exact same look.
Quite the story. Florida Gulf Coast University Eagles, they're soaring for sure. And Tom, look forward to catching up with you later in the week again to talk about this team that you know so well, and I know you're enjoying the ride too.
It's been a blast, and buddy, I want you to go on YouTube and check out Dunk City, and I want you to be able to karaoke that before the end of the week. Okay?
I can probably do the chicken/eagle right now if I want to.
It's so
all right,
bad.
take care, Tom. Appreciate it.
All right, be good.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk to Franz Beard and get his take on the Florida game and the Florida Gators, and plus the firing of a pretty good coach in Minnesota named Tubby after this timeout on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source. Are you looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little bit of something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
If you add 0 plus 0 plus 0, it adds up to what? 0. For a limited time, you can drive a new 2013 Ford Fiesta, Focus, Fusion, Edge, Escape, or Explorer with 0 down, 0 do-it signing, and 0 first month payment. But if you're one who might need a little more influence, how about we include another 0? A 3-year, 45,000-mile complimentary basic maintenance plan. That's just the way we roll at Ford Lincoln of Ocala. It's the power of 4G. Great brands at great prices with great service from great people. You can miss out on a lot of things in life, but whatever you do, be sure not to miss this extraordinary opportunity to drive a new Ford with 0 down, 0 do-it signing, 0 first month payment, and no charge 3-year basic maintenance during Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Sign and Ride event. Browse our inventory from the comfort of your home at fordofocala.com, but you're still going to have to come in. You see, it's called a Sign and Ride event. See dealer for details.
Black cow, the mature manure black cow.
With all the hard work you put into your lawn and garden, it just makes good sense to use the best products you can buy, like Black Cow composted cow manure. Use it with new landscape plants and trees, flower beds, and vegetable gardens, or use it as a top dressing for your lawn. Black Cow is organic, all natural. Look for the bright yellow and black bag.
Black cow, the mature manure black cow.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Time now for Franz Beard talking basketball. Mr. College Hoops himself. Franz, I know this is a great weekend for you to watch all this. And how about that? 3 teams from Florida in the Sweet 16. Great weekend.
3 in the Sweet 16, Florida Southern in the Division II quarters, and CF wins the JUCO. This is the basketball capital of the world right now.
Yeah, don't forget the team called the Miami Heat. They're doing pretty good too.
Yeah, they're pretty good too.
All right, so let's get right to it. You got a lot of things to talk about. We've got to remove real quick to get it in. First of all, Tubby Smith gets fired. Surprised or shocked?
Shocked, and a bad move by Minnesota. They're going to try to hire Shaka Smart. They're not going to get him.
Shaka's already said he's pretty happy there. Let's talk about over the weekend which games that aside from Florida Gulf Coast, who's a great story. We all know that. What games from the basketball standpoint, you're an old AAU coach, did you enjoy the most watching?
Well, I tell you, I love watching Gulf Coast. I mean, they just played a fun style of basketball that we don't see. We don't see kids having that much fun often enough. We tend to make such a business of this that we forget about it. But games that I thought were great games. I thought Ole Miss and LaSalle was a terrific basketball game. I thought Iowa State and Ohio State was a fantastic basketball game, and it's a pity that Carl Bodybag Hess screwed up that game by blowing a charging call because Aaron Kraft was moving. And as Seth Greenberg pointed out very, very accurately, Kraft was moving. That should have been a 3-point play, should have given Iowa State a 4-point lead with a minute 41 to go. But from the standpoint of a great basketball game, that was a great basketball game. When it comes down to that last shot like that, that's always a great basketball game. I liked the Butler-Wichita State game. That's another game that I just thoroughly enjoyed from a pure basketball standpoint. Great play at both ends. Marquette deserved to move on. A really well-coached Marquette team, and let's face it, Florida beat Marquette. So the Gators, some of these wins the Gators got this year are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, Temple, Indiana was a little closer, and Wyatt was a heck of a player, and Indiana looks they got to step up its game against Syracuse. Let's go through the schedule real fast coming up. We got Indiana, Syracuse. You see Indiana prevailing there on that one. It's Thursday night at 9.
I like Syracuse.
Yeah.
I like Syracuse. I like Syracuse a lot to win that game. I think Syracuse is going to bother them with their length on the wings in that 2-3 zone they play, and I think they're going to give Indiana fits. I think Syracuse prevails.
Thursday night, 7:15. Miami Marquette. I like Miami a lot. I think Miami wins this game. Marquette, however, is a team that I read a stat on them. All 7 of their the games that they have. What was that stat? 8 games. The last 8 games have been decided by 8 points. Yeah, that's what it was.
They got a great coach in Buzz Williams. There's a lot of talk that he may be the successor to Ben Howland at UCLA. Mm-hmm. He's the coach at Marquette. He's a terrific young coach.
You like Miami or Marquette?
He was one of Monty Cow's assistants at New Orleans.
Okay. Let's see. JJ, what's the rest of the bracket? You got the rest of the bracket?
Well, I want to know if he likes Miami or Marquette.
Miami or Marquette, who you like there?
I like Miami. I like Miami a lot.
Then you got.
But I think Marquette's going to make it very, very close.
Ohio State, Arizona.
Ohio State, Arizona.
I like Arizona to win it.
All right.
And Wichita, LaSalle.
Wichita, LaSalle.
I like Wichita all the way.
And then you got Louisville, Oregon.
Louisville will win big.
Michigan State, Duke. It's a big one.
Michigan State.
Kansas, Michigan.
I don't know who's going to win it, but I know whoever wins it is going to be beaten to a pulp when the Gators play them because the Gators are going to beat Florida Gulf Coast.
Well, that might be a little more of a game than what you think it's going to be because I think the matchups are going to create some problems. Those guys play above the rim, and I think they're going to have they're going to have their hands full there. They got to get some production out of Patrick Young, who they're not getting much out of right now.
Well, Patrick played a great game. Typical Patrick. He played a great game Friday night, then disappeared on Saturday. Although he did come up big on the boards in the last few minutes of the game. Came up very big on the boards and with a couple of good defensive plays there. But Patrick was a no-show on Sunday. And that's the thing about Patrick. You got to get him to play 2 games strong in a row, and he hasn't been able to do that. I think it's going to be a close game for a half, and then I see Florida pulling away. I think Florida is a superior team, and I think they're going to have trouble defending Florida. I mean, they're going to have real problems defending Florida. They run essentially a 4-guard lineup, and they're very, very quick. But Florida does some things. Billy Donovan is as good an offensive coach as far as getting mismatches for his guys as there is in the country. He will get open shots for his guys.
It all depends on. It was good to see Rosario with 25 and seeing Murphy, although he got in foul trouble. And finally, Scotty Wilbekin bounced back. They got a little life out of those guys. But where is Kenny Barton? It'll be fun if you can find out. We got to go, Franz. Appreciate it, man. Talk to you Thursday, all right? All right, Franz Beard. All right, I want to thank our guests today. Appreciate their participation. It's been a busy day. Mayor Kent Gwynn joined us earlier on talking about the celebration for CF, which we'll talk about a little more tomorrow. We know it. Dr. Jim Hennessing, the president of the College of Central Florida.